So Garrison Price for Thursday, July 2nd, 2026. We're a presentation of Bet365. Where? Boring games? Thing of the past. Now there's always a reason to tune in, even if the score isn't one of them. Download the app today. Must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Matt Scherzer alongside Blake Price, 4-time Juno Award winner, 2-time provincial basketball champion, and world log rolling titleist Mike Rogerson hitting switches and conducting things. Hope you enjoyed your Canada Day, and glad to have you back here on the 2nd of July. How are things?
I don't think July 2nd is going to provide nearly as many fireworks, to the workings of the Canucks yesterday, but there's still lots of stuff happening. The Canucks did actually make a minor league deal today, so, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible the Canucks pull off another major deal here in the next 36 hours of the business week, but it's possible. Fun yesterday.
Honestly, if I can just speak to Ryan Johnston here for a second.
Sure is listening.
RJ, terrific work to date, particularly the trade yesterday. Really loved that we didn't hear things like, oh, you should have heard the offers for our players. Oh, we ran out of time. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. We were going to circle back. Take the weekend. You've been very, very busy. You looked tired. You sounded tired. Take the weekend. Do absolutely nothing and make some announcements Monday, Tuesday. Get back to business.
If I might interject, Ryan, or can I have a moment? There's 36 hours left in the business week.
No. Nobody works on Fridays.
Go
in
to
the summer
work
in Vancouver. No.
He's not talking to people in Vancouver. They work Fridays in Minneapolis. Go to work for the next 36 hours. Take the rest of the summer off.
Oh, wait a second. No. We need content. What's Mike going to clip?
If he makes another major move, we will have lots to masticate.
Do it Monday or Tuesday. We'll run out next week.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. What an extraordinary weekend of sports we are heading into here, huh?
It's Matt's Friday, so he's previewing the weekend already.
Again, people in Vancouver don't work summer Fridays. Come on, Blake. Everybody knows this.
Oh, I'm happy to know that I don't have to work tomorrow. It's good.
So just locally here, you have the round of 32 match tonight with Switzerland and Algeria. Tomorrow at Nat Bailey Stadium, you have the Friday nooner with future Hall of Famer Max Scherzer on the bump for the Vancouver Canadians. Saturday, you have Touchdown Kelowna, the Lions and Elks at the Apple Bowl. But, of course, in the morning, you have Canada and Morocco. Sunday, you have England, Mexico from the Azteca, Blake. And, of course, you have the Blue Jays in Seattle starting tomorrow as well.
Lots going on.
This is just extraordinary.
Good times. Also, the John Deere Classic. You left out the John Deere Classic.
I'm so excited. I found myself giddy at one point yesterday. Just thinking of everything. That's the anticipation is getting to me. We got a World Cup match on right now. Hard to take your eyes off it. The Spanish play beautiful football, don't they?
They really do.
Did they still call it tiki-taka football, or are we past that generation?
If people haven't picked up on this,
style?
When Matt is on the cusp of days off, he gets very excited, very bright. He gets very optimistic about the world.
I do.
Sunshine and daisies.
I do.
When he comes back from said, different story.
Gonna hit up the outlet mall at Tulalip tomorrow on the way down because they have sleeves that fit me. Americans, they're big people, so they tend to have the extra tall shirts that I require, 37 sleeve. Big wingspan.
Think you're getting drafted?
I have a tough decision to make tomorrow and Saturday. I've thought about it a little bit. I think tomorrow I'm going to wear the Blue Jays hat with the Canadians jersey. And then Saturday, I'm going to wear the Canada soccer hat with the Blue Jays jersey. How does that strike you? Because Saturday is match day, so I think I want the Canadian soccer hat because the Canadians jersey is a Vancouver Canadians jersey.
Sure. Yeah, okay. I see.
Daily poll question. What is the next move for the Canucks? We'll bring it back to hockey here. A DeBrusk trade, an EP40 trade, other specify in reply, or they're done. You can vote at the Scherzer Price X.
We had unofficially put the over-under at 1.5 like veteran clearance moves, and I don't think Höglander fits that bill. So they've got the Marcus Pettersson as the one.
Yeah.
They only need one more to hit the over.
Yeah. I think they'll get her done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think DeBrusk is getting traded.
I can't imagine a world where Jake DeBrusk is back
That's
from
right.
camp.
That's
Can't
right.
imagine it.
And also, Blake, I think they are absolutely motivated to move Elias Pettersson. Like, I think the Twins have him figured out. I think they know. No, he doesn't work hard enough.
I agree. It's a tricky
He's
deal.
not something we want to. Yes, I agree with that.
And they don't want to come off all Columbus Blue Jackety, where they have guys on the trade block and then they have to.
God.
Daniil Marchenko apparently not being traded after yesterday. Zach Werenski not being traded.
I mean, Columbus, Ohio. It's more like Columbus, Saskatchewan. The way players are treating it. Get me out of here.
But then they're staying. Who knows? We're thinking about you, LG.
Can you really? How happy are they going to be?
It sounds like Werenski has had to come to Jesus moment. Marchenko less so.
Sounds like he had a little bit of a tantrum, though. Oh, he's pissed off that it got out. He's going to decline trades everywhere. Some people think, oh, the Dallas deal can be recast. Apparently, he and the agent were so pissed off, they didn't work through him on the front end. They brought a deal to him as opposed to saying, Zach, would you accept a deal to Dallas? And that got out and it made him look bad.
It sounds like Dallas.
What's with these American Olympic players? Like, how self-involved, how enfant terrible can you be? All of them. Jack, I want my puck back. It's not actually your puck.
But the Stars must
Brady,
have been
I
the
want to
ones who linked
trade.
it.
Get me out of Canada's capital. I only want to play with my brother.
He wouldn't be going back to Columbus if Columbus leaked it. So I'm going to guess that they think that the Stars leaked it.
Are you voting DeBrusk trade? Because Farhan reports L.A. and Kenny Holland, Vernon's Kenny Holland, checked in on the Elias Pettersson matter yesterday.
I believe our word is what's next, right? I think the Elias Pettersson trade will take a while to construct if it happens, so I'll go DeBrusk. Yeah.
We have been tying Elias to Los Angeles for some time.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is, I don't know, like, I just find it difficult to construct an Elias Pettersson trade to LA.
Right.
Like, they're not moving Byfield. They're center poor. They need Byfield.
They just got Eric Hall up.
But he's not moving the needle for you as the top six.
He just skates as a center, at the very least.
Centerman. Like, if you're the Canucks, you don't want Alex Turcotte back.
No.
He's failing out.
No.
They're not trading Brant Clark. They just re-signed him. They just don't have, like, a lot of young players. It might just have to be a draft pick thing with LA if it happens with LA.
They've got their first next year. They've got their second next year.
Yeah. They have some prospects, but it's not. They have Hunter Bristevich's brother, Henry. But they're not, like, teaming.
No.
They got Hermanson, the Swedish winger that we talked about going into the draft. They took him 19th overall last week. But no, they're not exactly, like, teaming with obvious trade candidates for a Pettersson. And, of course, the other thing with L.A. is, okay, $8.2 million in cap space right now. No real RFAs to have to worry about. So it's a lot of cap space, but it's not enough to take on the full contract. They're going to want to send money back if that's the case, right? So then you got to find who's the money back. And it's got to be at least 3, 4, 3.5. That gets them right at the cap. Yeah, it's hard.
They've got nothing there, honestly.
No, I know.
It is not very tempting at all.
No. Those of you on YouTube, our super chat button is available to you at all times. Hit it, make your donation to the BC Mental Health Foundation, and we shall get it read on air. This is Chris who says, please tell me the Canucks bring in some toughness to the forward group. Rempe, Reeves.
I mean, Jimmy Oleksiak is a tough customer. He can drop them.
Heard of Matthew Steinberg?
He drops them too. I doubt he's on the NHL roster much, but they did sign him. He can drop the gloves too. I'm just not worried about it at all. I don't know where this panic from the organization too. So, Chris, I get why you're saying that.
They want a sideshow, Blake. It's about entertainment. They're not going to win games, so they want punch-ups at the arena. You know, it's like we're into slapshot operation here. Keep the masses entertained.
It had not crossed my mind one iota.
Well, that's not the league anymore. Like that's not the league at all anymore.
I don't get it.
Like the staged fights are so few and far between.
Yeah.
And whatever quote unquote, policeman protector you have to have, they do actually have to be able to play the sport of hockey. Like this question has been asked and answered. There is no more room for the huge tough guy winger who plays 3 minutes and his only function is to fight and or intimidate.
Curtis Douglas didn't play, so you're just committing to having 11 forwards in the game.
That's right. But in their case, Blake, of course, it's not like they're trying to win games.
I guess you could make that
So
argument.
if it fits for anybody anymore in the National Hockey League, it is for the pure rebuilding team, especially the pure rebuilding team on the front end that doesn't have enough young players they want to make room for just yet. And the masses that need to be entertained at the arena paying top dollar, let's go out and get them a pugilist.
And the only undersized player the Canucks really have is Marco Rossi left on the roster.
Well, I mean, I think they would argue they want to protect the kids. William.
Yeah, but those guys are 6 feet and 6'1". William and Villander. So,
William, Ogren.
Ogren's big.
Coots, DPD, Villander.
DP.
Got to protect them all.
Come on.
Got to protect them all.
Not worried about
them. Yeah. Okay, so you voted DeBrusk trade. I voted DeBrusk trade as well. Mm-hmm. Let's hear from the general manager because Ryan Johnston, this was his first Canada Day, free agency day. I think Canucks Nation is willing to say not only, Ryan, did you pass, but with flying colors after the Marcus Pettersson deal. More on this in a second. He was pleased with his work. There's almost an Ice Cube quote here. I got to say it was a good day. Here's RJ.
Yeah, it was a good day. Like I said, I wanted to be really strategic through this whole process. I felt with the people that we've added in different various ways are player profiles that I was looking at, but also the people and the character that I've made a priority, and I think people that at the end of the day want to be here in Vancouver, which was extremely important to me.
Yeah, and
was that a Friday reference, by the way?
No,
no.
Ice Cube. It was a good day.
Yeah, Ice Cube was in Friday.
He was in Friday, but I don't believe that song is from the Friday soundtrack. I believe it's from the America's Most Wanted album, but I could be wrong. Ice Cube was quite prolific there when he split from NWA. He continues to hammer home the people side of this, the character side of this. Blake, he's saying that so often that it leads me to believe that things were even worse.
It's
than
so
what
incriminating. No, it is. No, it's so
room,
incriminating.
And around the organization that, Like that the Twins and RJ would walk around just appalled at the lack of character, integrity, honesty, goodwill, just everything that was lacking from the Canucks organization over the last, well, I'd say a little while, but it's been a while.
To be fair, I don't
They had
think
lost their way entirely. Like, you're supposed to be a community beacon, a professional sports franchise. There are few things in this city that have a broader reach in terms of representing Vancouver and British Columbia than the Canucks, the biggest team in town. And that is absolutely in full view and focus from Johnston and the Twins.
I don't think they mean it to be this way, but almost everything that leaves their mouth is an incrimination of the previous regime. I don't think they're trying to be catty. I really don't. No. They're not that kind of group.
No, they're not.
But it just is. Like, by virtue of what they're saying, it's just a stark review of what was.
I think that might be a little bit more acute for guys like you and me, Blake, because we sit here and we talk about the Canucks every day. It's our job. It's our vocation. I think some of that's in the perception and the receiver. And I'm not sure Canucks fans take it as such, or at least it's not as top of mind with Canucks fans, because one of the things that I noticed, and it was clear with the Benning group, but they had lasted well beyond best before date. But the Rutherford Alvin group, there was even people defending Rutherford midway through this year. Canucks fans moved on so quickly from that management group.
It's really unbelievable.
And I think part of it is because you had, iconic players coming back home, if you will, to run the team, and Hank and Danny, and Ryan Johnston, someone who we've gotten to know quite well because he's been here for like 14 years, right? But, Canucks fans were just like, okay, that's over. Time to be forward-looking here.
Yeah.
I'm not looking in the rearview mirror. I'm looking through the windshield. And I don't blame them. Let's get to our top story. It's brought to you by Yellow Dog Brewing, Neighborhood Brewing, Foolish Winery. Had a Yellow Dog last night. If not the day the rebuild started, then the day the rebuild was confirmed. Canucks trade for a way out there first-round pick and sign short-term pliable deals that should net more future assets later this year and beyond. Jamie Oleksiak, Luke Schenn, Paul Cotter signed NHL contracts. And the club trades Marcus Pettersson to the New York Rangers for a first-round pick that will either be in 2030 or 2031. It is top 10 protected in 2030. Now there is no doubt. The Canucks are rebuilding, and this rookie GM has the stones to make deals with an eye on the long term. No more impatience, no more immediate gratification, no more shortcuts. This is the plan. No more no plan, as Ray coined it once upon a time. There is now a plan.
Yeah, it's heartening, I think, for a lot of people. And I said this week, I wasn't pessimistic about their ability to get the job done, but I wasn't going to coronate them based on the Höglander trade. I wanted evidence that they understood what was happening, and we've got evidence now. It was a good July 1st. I'm mildly miffed that they missed an opportunity at the entry draft to again plant the seeds of an orchard a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. They missed that moment. It's not a federal indictment though, and I think they're going to be okay in the end.
It's a summary charge.
Yes. They had a really good July 1st. They understand the assignment. It was good work. And if they build off of that, per our poll question, then even more so. So it's impressive. On this note, Stu and Statistics with the Super Chat. Thank you.
Oh, hey, Stu. Stu's a new dad. Congratulations.
If retention is the only route, RJ needs to take a hard stance with EP40 and get two-thirds done. One, absorb a bad contract, or get two of these three things done. Absorb a bad contract, or demand a premium prospect, or an unprotected first. Retention equals invest in the future. So two of those three things. Absorb the bad contract, demand a premium prospect or get an unprotected first.
Yeah. I think they're going to have to absorb a bad contract.
Most likely, especially with LA. But
Yeah. Now, Seattle's interesting because Seattle has oodles of cap space.
premium prospects
and
are there.
And they can't find players who want to take advantage of it, right? Like Robertson has said no.
They don't have AAA prospects, but they've got
Werenski's.
AA prospects. You know, like those.
Oh,
Yeah, the AAA prospects, I mean, are surefire things. There's
boy, Wright, O'Brien, and Catton are.
If Wright were surefire, he
three.
would have launched by now, Matt. He's still. I'm not giving up on Wright, but if he was a AAA, he's launched by now. He's 22, almost 23.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd be willing to give him a chance. I'm just
Right.
saying he's not a AAA prospect.
I think Shane Wright is an NHL player.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And he was once a AAA prospect.
Now-
Remember, this was an exceptional player status, all that sort of stuff.
Like for me, can Shane Wright get to Sean Couturier? Can it be a better than Barrett Hayton? Two-way center?
I think he can be better than Barrett Hayton. I think Couturier is beyond him. But
Really?
yes, yeah.
Okay. All right. Jake O'Brien, of course, played with Caleb Malhotra at Brantford.
Yeah. Yeah, there's more runway
And
there.
Catton may have the most actual offense of the trio. He's just a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a decent rookie NHL season. But we'll see about Seattle. Anaheim is interesting, too, after the McTavish trade. And Verbeek is a courage of his convictions GM, so that's...
Yeah.
Do have to get to... Oh, by the way, congratulations to Stu and Bailey on the birth of daughter Avery
Congratulations
in the
indeed.
last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Stu's been a long-time audience member. In fact, Stu goes back to when we were in the early days of discussing analytics in hockey. Remember there was a debate? There were some who believed, oh, no, analytics doesn't apply to hockey. You know, like, oh, intellectual concept. No, couldn't possibly have a fit in our game. And Stu was the guy who, in those early days, and Stu has a math.
He's no longer in statistics either, is he, officially?
Well.
He's gone away from that a little bit.
He's graduated. He's
Yeah.
CEO. He's CSO, Chief Statistics Officer. Stu was the one who said to us, though, and this is still very much in development. Okay, great. Now map it for me, though. Like, take all the data, the raw numbers, and now tell me, how do I construct the best line out there? Where should I position my forwards on an offensive zone draw to maximize
Optimization.
Absolutely. That's what Stu's about.
Let's burn the last super check, because
Please.
it's still related to this. Free Petey. Who's stacked with prospects? Detroit, EP40 for Danielson. Carter Bear, 21 and 19 years old, respectively. Both Canadian kids. Frees up Stevie Y to move on Larkin.
Yeah, and it's a really good shout, and many people have mentioned that Detroit has the wherewithal to do it. Detroit, even before Dylan Larkin wanted out, I think you could argue had need there.
Mhm.
So remember, Elias has a no-move clause. Do you want to go live in Detroit and work under the cloud of misery that is Steve Yzerman?
Well, who also, demands you play through injury, you work hard, all that sort of stuff.
Steve Yzerman is a scary boss. Do you think Elias wants to go work for a scary boss?
If he's done the due diligence
he
and
needs
knows
a
that.
new age boss.
If
He
he-
needs a Zen boss.
Yeah, he may not know that, though.
He needs a boss that, what are those bowls called? And they reverberate and make a sound.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but
Mike, you know those things?
I know. I don't know that.
They're like very new age.
I don't have any
Tibetan,
at home.
I think.
Yeah. They have like their own wand and you
We got it, yeah.
chant or ohm around them. We got to deal with this. Mike, can you bring up that Puckpedia tweet, please? Our buddy Hart Levine at Puckpedia. Luke Schenn got a no-move clause?
Yes, he did.
Luke Schenn got a no-move clause.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's a wild scenario that allows Luke Schenn to make himself a tradable commodity.
you're not sweating this because
I'm
you're
not
not sure
sweating
he's going to have trade value.
Yeah. I mean, you'd rather not have it there just in case, obviously, but I'm not.
So is this just their way of saying, if we're going to trade you, we will work with you? Like, we're not going to. Because let's remember, Luke Schenn was traded at this deadline.
Mm-hmm. From Winnipeg to Buffalo?
That's right.
Yeah.
Like, Luke Schenn, and he moved with Tommy Novak. Sorry, no, that was the previous. Guys, Luke Schenn went for a second and a fourth-round pick at this deadline.
At this deadline? Really? I mean...
wait, sorry, no, I'm getting that wrong. That was the last deadline.
Yeah.
He went
a year
to
and a half
Pittsburgh
ago.
for that.
Yeah.
What was the trade to Buffalo? Where did he go? Oh, he was involved. It was a bigger trade, right? Because Logan Stanley was involved? Yes, it was Schenn and Stanley from Winnipeg. Yeah, Buffalo, the Jets got Isaac Rosen, who was a one-time first-round pick. They got defenseman Jacob Risen, and there was a second and a conditional fourth involved there. Now, Logan Stanley might have done all the heavy lifting in terms of return.
Might have been salary.
But there's a Luke Schenn price built in there, Blake.
He'll be 37 at the deadline. Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, if he has a transcendent year, Corsi, strong, plus minus is good, even his 15 points, you can probably have a chat with him. Mm-hmm. He says he wants to do well by the organization. He says he's coming here to make changes. I mean, that would be part of it, right?
Jamie Oleksiak got a 12-team no-trade list in both of his years. They really paid the piper for Oleksiak. Like $5 million a year is a fair bit of money.
It's a lot of cheddar.
But he's huge. They had a void to fill, needless to say, after the Marcus Pettersson trade. And I still think that's a tradable contract, even if you're going to have to retain some money.
Just retain on it.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Oleksiak last year saw sort of the first significant dip in his minutes. He wound up playing 16:56 per game last year for Seattle. That was down more than a minute and a half. In fact, a minute 50 from where he was the previous year in Seattle. And then the 3 previous years in Seattle, he was upwards of 19 minutes a game. In all those years, he was even up over 20 minutes a game for Dallas back in 20.
I think you can bump him up a little bit, but you don't need him to play 20. 18 minutes is fine.
He's 33 now. He'll be 34 in December. Okay, so the big trade yesterday. We had all the details. We did not hear from Ryan Johnston on yesterday's program. So here he is on dealing Marcus Pettersson to the Rangers.
You know, I've been listening on everything, exploring options, trying to do what's best for this organization, short term, long term. When it became an opportunity with the return, and especially I've made it clear that I'm okay looking into the future on some of these returns, and teams maybe are limited of what they can do short term and futures and more apt to push things, which is fine by me. So Marcus, outstanding player, an outstanding person. When he came here, he had a real impact on this dressing room, so I want to thank him. But it was just an opportunity that I felt I needed to take.
Really key sentence in there. Other teams looking to push things, and it's fine by me. We had talked about the Canucks are kind of in a unique position here because they're the only pure rebuilding team in the NHL right now. Again, St. Louis is
they're pretty close.
Mostly there. But you've got a Canucks team that should be a marketplace for the other 31 or at least 30, most of whom are looking to contend, make the Stanley Cup playoffs, if not try and win a championship. And I think it further strengthens their leverage. And every other GM would have saw that yesterday. Oh, the Canucks are willing to take first-round picks that are 4 years out. Like, that should facilitate an Elias Pettersson trade. If what Ryan Johnston's saying applied in his logic and execution of the Marcus Pettersson trade, if that applies to the Elias Pettersson trade as well, then I think you're only going to have more teams and more GMs curious and interested and calling. And I think that sets the stage for a potential deal there as well.
I've already said I think you could imagine in 2-3 years' time, Canucks on the upswing and wanting to use that pick as just a leverage for a trade for a better player. Also, though, in a shorter term, in a year, maybe in as soon as a year, Matt, but certainly in 2, there will be a new Vancouver Canucks team, a new team that decides, okay, it's full rebuild time. And all of a sudden, that 2030 pick is very useful for them. Mm-hmm. And they might be more willing to make a move for their 24-year-old who is now starting to be on the cusp of their, like every 1 to 2 years, there's a team that goes, we out. We are going right to the bottom. So that next team, the 2030 draft pick looks pretty darn good to them.
But here's the thing. Right now, that's all conjecture.
Yep.
I know you and Jeff yesterday talked instantly about how this could be a movable asset for a player when they're good. If the rebuild is looking good in 4 years, that's it. It doesn't matter right now.
No.
RJ should not sweat that one iota. Either we're still going to be in a rebuild and we use that pick on a young player who we anticipate as part of our core group, or things are going swimmingly, and we have an extra first-round pick to go out and do some shopping if we need to do shopping.
You're the Montreal Canadiens.
Exactly.
All of a sudden you're thinking, okay, we can spend it.
Right. Canadians last year got to the point where, okay, we've got a lot of draft capital, a lot of prospects. We can peel some for Noah Dobson. Smart move.
That's right.
So here's Johnston on the value of a 2030 first-round pick.
Well, looking at the options, looking at where what that team had available as far as first-round picks, and then also the timing to make the move, I see value in a future pick. That is a time where I hope we are heading in the right direction and look back on, having that pick is still going to have value. It's hard to see it now, but something that, again, I'm not afraid to do, to punt things down the road, to give us opportunities at that point and it doesn't mean you wait till 2030. That's something you may be able to use earlier as value to bring something back.
I love the line about, that pick has value. It's hard to see now. I almost feel, when I heard that, I almost felt like, I wonder if there was a discussion in the room or with the PR staff about, it's so far out. Like, this is going to be hard.
This
to
isn't
going to
play well.
And fans were like, no, love it.
Yeah.
Well done, RJ.
Yeah. Proof again of an educated fan base.
And because from RJ to RJ.
Oh, my gosh.
There he is. And shout out our buddy Grady Sass, doing a great job covering the North Shore. There is Macklin Celebrini's young brother, RJ Celebrini.
It's a pretty nice move.
It's great celly, too. Look at that. Kid obviously has practiced his cellies because, he scores a lot of goals. Who is a 2030 draft-eligible player. I couldn't help myself last night. I got home. I said, I'm going to send Rick a note. Celebrini. Happy Canada Day, Rick. Hope you're well. Couldn't help but notice the Canucks acquired a pick in RJ's draft year. Couldn't help but notice that Macklin's a free agent 1 year later. I mean, if only they had parents who were accustomed to an NBA-style super team. Oh, wait.
You're planting the seeds.
Hey, he laughed at me. I said, feel free to tell me to take a hike, but he was good-natured about it.
RJ's coming off a tough year.
Excuse me? No.
60 games played. He only had 148 points, 71 goals in the 60 games. So
Blake, the family lives in Northern California. If those who don't know, Rick Celebrini, one of the world's foremost physiotherapists, has long been employed by the Golden State Warriors. And the family lives in Northern California. But RJ plays up here at the Winter Club, North Shore Winter Club, basically to get tested by competition. Like California youth hockey, while it's gotten a lot better,
that's still
it's still no place for a potential first overall NHL draft pick. Like, they're just not going to get tested by their age groups, even moving up age groups. So RJ plays a lot of club hockey up here.
53115. Please drop off lasagnas at the Celebrini household if you get a chance. Need to grow the kid.
I met him once, and he's a very personable and outgoing young fella, much like his brother Macklin, who, of course, we've gotten to know.
And Aiden, too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, they're all of...
Very personable.
Yes. Polite, all that. So, no, Rick and Robin.
And Aiden says he's going back to school one more year, and then he's going to turn pro next year, he says.
Yep. Of course, Aiden was selected by the Canucks a couple of years ago in the 7th round of the draft. At Boston, he's at Boston University. He played with Tom Villander there.
Yep, and now he'll play with the incoming newcomers.
Okay, so wrapping the day, Ryan Johnston was asked about the style of contracts that he signed yesterday. And look, he said it wasn't predisposed to anyone, but needless to say, there's a preference for short-term deals here.
Yeah, it gives us options moving forward. I'm always considering every type of deal, every type of it's always on the tip. But I think we've solved some problems. We've made changes. We've got some different faces without without having to take on a long-term commitments or things that might have put us a year from now or at certain times rethinking things. I think this gave us a facelift a little bit. It gave us an opportunity to get new energy and new people. And at the same time, when you got people maybe in a shorter situation that have a lot to prove, you often can get the best out of them.
Like it. Yeah, absolutely. And that applies to Paul Cotter. Winger they signed yesterday from the New Jersey Devils. He was unqualified, restricted free agent. They chose not to qualify him. That's an unusual move for a guy who has established himself as an everyday NHLer, as Cotter has for the last several seasons with Jersey and Vegas before that. I'm sorry, Mike?
Just to re-download the video.
Oh, so he's telling me we're not ready to hear this clip. But I was not done introducing it.
Oh, okay. He can rag that puck.
Yes. I mean, I ragged a puck for an hour yesterday as we were awaiting the Marcus Pettersson return. You don't think I can do a few minutes on Paul Cotter?
I'll shut up and watch. Turn off the mic here.
Yeah. Blake dismissed. Go grab a coffee. We'll let you know when we're...
3 minutes on Paul Cotter. Go.
No, but unusual move for a guy who's established himself as an NHL regular. The issue with Jersey is there are cap problems. And so they were looking at it going, okay, are we really going to qualify this guy? Because every dollar may count for us as we go through that offseason. Of course, they haven't made their Dougie Hamilton trade yet. Everybody suspects there's a Dougie Hamilton trade to make. They shipped out a cheaper Simon Nemec to Calgary, got terrific draft capital back in return, but that didn't help them on the money side of things. Nico Hischier has re-signed there. Then they made the Markstrom move, which did alleviate some cap issues. But the bottom line is, if Paul Cotter is a Seattle Kraken last year, he's probably getting his qualifying offer, and he's not a free agent. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, I mean, there might have been a few other GMs who said he just doesn't bring enough utility because he's not a special teams player.
That's it. I can get that guy that kills penalties.
But I would think 3/4 of the league would have qualified him and said, no, we're happy with him playing in the bottom six. Here's Ryan Johnston on newcomer Paul Cotter.
Somebody that I've had an eye on for a while. I love his speed. He's got size. He plays a physical game. And he's got a scoring touch that I still think he's done it, but is still a little bit untapped at 26 years old. There's upside. Excited to work with him. He's ecstatic to be coming here. Again, it was just a win-win. I think he's in a bit of a prove-it year for himself. He wants to prove some people wrong, But like I said, I've watched him for years and appreciated his game, and the opportunity to get him here and into our group, how Manny wants to play fast, play direct, play north. I think he's going to fit to that perfectly.
And what I really love about that is this is Ryan Johnston leaning on his expertise. The facet of the job I think we were all not only comfortable with, but excited to see in practice from the decision maker's chair. And what I mean by that is Ryan Johnston carved out a niche within the Vancouver Canucks front office in terms of being those eyes on not only the NHL, but the AHL, and picking out those players he thinks were ready to pop and move up in the world. I'm thinking of Dakota Joshua, who was a kind of part-time NHL player when the Canucks signed him. Turned into a good NHL player, at least before poor guy, the cancer diagnosis and ultimately the trade here. I'm thinking of Kiefer Sherwood, who was a down lineup player for the Nashville Predators, a pure fourth liner for the Nashville Predators when they played the Canucks in the playoffs a couple of years ago.
But he was for Drew O'Connor too.
But he was a pebble in the shoe of the Canucks in that playoff series. And, of course, Johnston and his team had eyes on Sherwood when he was an AHLer, big-time late bloomer there, and thought, nope, this guy can be an NHL player. He can be every night NHL player. He can be a contributor. And boy, oh boy, did the Canucks get value out of Kiefer Sherwood, huh? He sets an NHL record in hits, scores a career high in goals, comes back the next year and is red hot, and they parlay him into 2 second-round picks. So this is Ryan Johnston running. This is comfort zone. Oh, a sort of fourth line NHLer. Who are the fourth line NHLers? Who are the AHLers who are going to turn into NHLers over the next couple of years? That's his bread and butter.
There's a bunch of candidates, right? Like there is less of a chance, but still a chance that Gallagher and Schenn are tradable at the deadline as expiring contracts. And then O'Connor and Cotter, it's going to be tough to track. O'Connor and Cotter are both prime candidates, I think, to be flipped at the deadline for some sort of
similar players, similar money, all that. In fact, there's part of me that wondered when I got home yesterday, does Cotter make Drew O'Connor a little more redundant here?
Yeah, if you can find a trade sooner.
Did they make that signing with the idea because they know, hey, we've got some interest in Drew O'Connor. It's a hot trade market. Let's do it now.
By all means.
Yeah. Here's Adam Kiersonblad of the Hockey News. So here's what the Canucks defense could look like with Zeev Buium and Phil Roenick on the top pair, and the previous coach had gone to that somewhat late down the stretch. We are absolutely a stand for that pair because when the Canucks are next competitive, or at least when they hope they're next competitive, that figures to be the first pair. Long way to go. Much can happen with both players. But as you're mapping it out, Philip Roenick with a no-move clause that he's unwilling to waive, if he is here long-term, you're hoping to milk however many seasons you can out of him as a top-pair right-shot defenseman. And, of course, Zeev would be your top-pair left-shot defenseman because he grows into more offensive production and does enough defensively to hold his own on that pair with a very good partner defensively. Then you got huge Jamie Oleksiak.
On his off wing there.
Stepping into the Marcus Pettersson spot. I'm sorry, who's on the off wing?
Isn't Oleksiak a right shot?
No,
he's a left shot. Oh, pardon me. Okay, I thought he plays both sides, but I thought he was a right shot.
He has played both sides, but yes. Stepping into the Marcus Pettersson shoes with Tom Verlander. And look, on a good team, on a contending team, I'm not sure Tom Verlander's a top 4 defenseman yet. There were some nice moments last year. There was also some struggles. Boy, young man was hard on himself too, huh? I'm not sure since I think only Jacob Markstrom comes to mind in terms of guys who are harder on themselves in post-game press conference. You remember young Marky and how he would just absolutely flog himself?
I know there's some that fashion themselves Willander truthers. I know Drance is not a big fan of Willander, but I don't see it. I don't see the panic that he's not going to be an NHL player. I think
he's a terrific skater.
I think a top four, like this might be his future as the fourth guy. But that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
And then you got DPD and Luke Schenn on the left side. Victor Mancini there as well. Schenn, of course, a right shot, can play either side. I mean, when he'd just be happy to play.
But you'd also want to make life as easy on him as
side.
possible. So I played him on his natural side when you can.
Right. And, of course, you would have Kirill Kudryavtsev there for depth injury-wise or to push one of these guys.
And if all goes according to plan here too, Matt, Elias Pettersson has a great start, refines the stride that he made 2 years ago.
Well, I hope he has a big summer because his summer last year looked a little too much like his namesake.
In a perfect world, he comes back, reestablishes himself, and he pushes Oleksiak down to the third pair. Like, that would be ideal.
Yep.
But he has
Long
to
way to go there. Yeah. Here's big Luke Schenn. Says he's all in.
Vancouver
on the
to me
Canucks rebuild.
It's kind of felt like home in terms of where I played in the NHL. Super comfortable with the organization. Obviously the city, the community. I'm a BC guy, in the off season. And, I think Vancouver to me isn't just a place where you're going to, just put a year in worth the NHL. To me, I care about the organization. I care about obviously, what they're doing right now in terms of the rebuild and where they're going. And I want to be a part of that. And I'm looking forward to it. Obviously I know, where they're at in terms of, where they are in the organization and what the plan is. But like I said, I care and want to make things better and help out in the room and on the ice and help be a part of it. So I'm excited.
He would repeat a lot of those things in his answers yesterday.
Yeah.
He had some talking points. He's not just putting in another year. He's not just cashing a check. He cares about the Canucks. He's a BC boy now. Canucks feel like his home team. Third stint with the Canucks. Perhaps he's gotten to Yellow Dog in Penticton or Port Moody. Perhaps he's gotten a neighborhood in Penticton, the corner of Winnipeg.
That would be enough to make you want to re-sign, absolutely. Especially when you realize the Crush Pale Ale is now here from Yellow Dog Brewing. It's a take on keeping things sessionable without sacrificing styles. Light in alcohol, it's clean in profile, and endlessly approachable. It's the kind of beer you can settle into and stay a while. And I might take a small bit of credit for the Crush Pale Ale because I had a chat with Mike from Yellow Dog about another brand's lower alcohol but very tasty beer. And I thought that was not a light beer because light beer often sacrifices a little bit in taste. These are different. And lo and behold, months later, the Crushed Pale Ale manifests itself. Well done, Yellow Dog Brewing. You're doubting my influence?
You think Mike Cockhill and the Yellow Dog guys need your 2 cents on their business?
I'm
their
just saying,
industry?
I find it coincidental. I had this chat with them, and then months later, this happens.
I'm sorry, is it Blake's Crushed Pale Ale?
They haven't called it that, no.
Oh, how about that? I'm sure it was just a minor oversight.
Mike's got a crush on me, maybe? Maybe that's why. I don't know.
You two are unbearable on the golf course. They team up on me, Mike. They like to bully me. They like to catcall me. They like to taunt me. It's okay. I take the rubber bullets. I honestly, I said this to Marek 2 weeks ago. Kind of an underreported story. Like, is the all-time goal scorer in the history of this sport going to play again? We're so caught up in trades and draft and
well, they started to really improve the team.
Crazy money deals. And then you saw Washington go out and add Kyrou and add Tuck. Have you seen how friggin' good that Capitals forward group looks?
And they're big dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be physical. They're going to be good. I was of two minds. I was like, either they know he's coming back and they want to insulate him more so that he doesn't have to be the cornerstone, or he's not coming back and they're just trying to be decent enough. And it turns out it's the first. They are bringing him back on a great cap hit, too.
Like, down the middle, Strome, Dubois, Jenner, if they want to play Jenner there, Boone Jenner, they've signed him. Protas, if they want to play Protas there, it's Ilya. Left wing, Ovechkin, Protas, Ryan Leonard, the other Protas, maybe if he's not playing center. Down the right side, Tuck, Kyrou, Tom Wilson.
Oof.
They have Justin Sordiff, the
That
former
right
Giant
says-
who popped.
That's scary.
Like, that's extraordinary. I mean, their forwards 1 through 11.
Well, and even like a tenacious player like Anthony Beauvillier. Like,
Yeah.
Beauvillier plays full steam ahead, even at the
Yeah.
diminutive, in this group, 5'11".
Miroshnichenko is a one-time first-round pick. Maybe he pops too.
6 guys over 6'4".
Monsters too.
I honestly, I think that's a good team, too. Like, that's
Yeah.
there's
Well,
no
they know there's no more John Carlson, right? Who
No.
is, did
And
he
they-
sign Tampa? Or?
in Tampa, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no superstar there, but there's a lot of stars, and I like. Is there a Florida model kind of there too? Like, that could be fun.
I mean, maybe you can quibble a little bit that, is there the highest of high-end centers there? No, probably not.
But the high floor, so
Yeah. Which further just blows my mind that they signed Desharnais to 4 years at $4.2 million.
yeah,
Like,
they do all that good work.
I
and then you
know,
do that.
you needed defensemen. I know they didn't feel great about their defensemen. They got Chychrun, Fehervary, Roy, Sandin, Liljegren, but they went out like, oh my God, we need Vincent Desharnais at that kind of money.
Trade for Marcus Pettersson. Like, wouldn't you
Yeah.
rather been in on that?
Yeah, actually, Washington has 3 one-time first-round wingers below the NHL level as well, and they have Cole Hudson coming too, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Savanto in the first round this year, that is a really well set up team.
Could be good.
Yeah.
They kind of avoided a rebuild.
So you can understand why, they did avoid a rebuild, and you can understand why you'd want to come back, Ovechkin. Thompson and Lindgren, the 2 goalies. Good-looking club. Has Edmonton finally solved their crease?
Well, they've changed it.
Devin Levi, they acquired the young goalie from Buffalo, and then they signed Freddie Anderson of Carolina to a 1-year, $2.8 million deal, fresh off a Stanley Cup, right? This is the guy who got Carolina most of the way to a Stanley Cup
Most of the way.
before Brandon Bussey
The
took over in
Oilers
the
are signing
final.
him to take them all the way.
Well, but they may need 2. We've seen many teams require 2.
And Jordan Binnington also late yesterday, after both of these deals had been done, Levi and Anderson both acquired. Jordan Binnington apparently still very interested in joining the Oilers. So do the Oilers just get a crowded crease going to say, y'all fight for it?
Well, and Levi, was ticked because he wasn't getting the opportunity in Buffalo. Boy, he would be.
He would be extra ticked, yeah.
Exactly. And we had an offer sheet.
Yeah.
Offer sheet from New Jersey to Barrett Hayton. Now, it's only of the level where it's a second-round pick in compensation, so everybody thinks Utah is going to re-sign Barrett Hayton or match the offer sheet. The issue there is if you match an offer sheet and retain the player, you're not allowed to trade that player for a calendar year, and that means they would march Barrett Hayton into unrestricted free agency.
Yeah, it's just the poison pill. They're putting their feet to the fire.
Sonny
here.
Mehta, the new GM there, and then Elliot Friedman saying he's heard of teams considering offer sheets on Leo Carlson and the Ducks, but Anaheim would just match.
Yeah, that's a very good player. So Barrett Hayton.
We've gone through the Connor Bedard offer sheet, and whether it's
These Barrett Hayton, ones of the Barrett Hayton level are interesting because you really don't want to spend that kind of money on a 25-point player from last year, 46 points the previous year. He's been a disappointment from a 5th overall pick. And you also don't want to just, have him for one and done. he gets to the open market in a year's time, you don't want to just lose him. So it's well thought out, the offer sheet.
Development camp continues at Rogers Forum in Abbotsford. They broke into 3 groups and did some 3-on-3 scrimmages today. You see Caleb Malhotra headlined one group. Braden Coots headlined another. Adam Novotny headlined a third group. JPAT is there covering for us. Novotny has scored. Coots has scored. Malhotra has scored. So all the Canucks big prospect. But he said, look, it's a little ragged at a development camp 3-on-3. Especially poor Aiden Celebrini's the only defenseman on his team. They only brought 5 defensemen at dev camp. Also wanted to get to this from our buddy Dave Hall of Canucks Army and the Blackfish podcast, Prospects podcast. Trey Fix-Wolanski. That's the AHLer, the itty-bitty AHLer the Canucks signed yesterday. I've liked Trey Fix-Wolanski's game for quite some time. He's an electric skater with tremendous pace, plenty of skill, and the ability to get under opponents' skin. His size will likely keep him in Abbotsford, but it'll be a ton of fun to watch. The other thing that he'll do, because he's so itty-bitty, if he does get to Vancouver and he has any decent NHL games, fans will fall in love with him because he's so small. 5'7".
He's like a smaller Connor Garland.
Yeah.
But and a better skater, it sounds
Right.
like, than Connor Garland.
Right.
Albeit
But
with
fans love to get behind the underdog, right? And
Yeah.
this kid would absolutely qualify as an underdog when you look at how small he is. And then, Blake, tell me about Matthew Steinberg, who signs a 1-year, 2-way contract today. He has played NHL games, but he hasn't played a lot of late.
No, and he's not a likely candidate to make opening night by any stretch of the imaginations, but he's a capable AHL player. He doesn't shy away from physicality. He can drop the gloves even once in a while when you need to, but he's not very offensively inclined either. So he's a guy.
Always the guys who drop gloves coming out of Ivy League schools. Oh, I went to an Ivy League school, and now I punch people in the face while balancing on a 1/4-inch blade of steel.
Well, something happened to his game, too, because his second year at Cornell, he's above a point per game in the NCAA, and that was the last time he showed any inclination to contribute offensively. Everything from then on in has been very paltry.
And lastly, sayonara Yuri Patera, we hardly knew ya. The Canucks organizational depth goalie, who did play 1 game last year. It did not go well. His goals against average was 7.39, but was better in Abbotsford. Was pretty good in Abbotsford, actually. 263, 910. Winds up playing 9. So that was his 9th game in the NHL, poor Yuri Patera. He goes back to 2022 with Vegas, played 8 games with Vegas, came over here to the Canucks for a couple of seasons, winds up playing 1 NHL game. He's off to Boston.
He's had a devil of a career, honestly, from 2022 to today.
Mm-hmm.
4 seasons? Is that 4 full seasons or 5 inclusive? He's played 100 games.
4. Yeah,
but
no, I know.
Like 100 games of hockey at
Barely
any level.
played.
Like the guy's
He's
not
barely played. Poor guy.
Situation and injury.
Yeah. So anyways, opportunity in the Canucks crease for some of their younger goalies down on the farm. Let's get to today's menu. It's brought to you by Greta. Fantastic spot to pregame or postgame. You are mere steps from the arena or stadium. If you're planning a private function, this is your spot. Your guests will absolutely love Greta. They got a riser at the back of the bar, gives you some privacy. They have a full-service bar right there, so you're not going to wait around for drinks. It's surrounded by television screens. You can watch whatever you want. But let me promise you, your guests will home base there, but they'll go explore the bar because they're looking at all the different arcade games. And they'll play a lot of those games. And then they'll return to the private area with a huge smile on their face. You will be a champion for having organized it. To get more info, to book your event, go to gretabar.com. Greta, 50 West Cordova. Let the games begin. We're talking to Patrick Johnston next. Is that correct?
We're talking to Patrick Johnston.
Patrick Johnston joins us from Abbotsford and Canucks development camp. He mostly sat the sidelines yesterday and watched free agency go down while Kuzma worked.
More on that.
We'll get his take on the trade.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks there's a good chance of a PD trade, so we'll explore that. And on Jamie Oleksiak. Colin Miller, former national team head coach, assistant, and player. Of course, you hear him calling Whitecaps games with Asa Raymond on CKNW and on the Whitecaps Chorus Network. Colin is also Scottish. He embedded with the Tartan Army in Boston earlier this World Cup. Scotland made its return to the tournament, and their fans became such a hit across the United States. So we'll talk to him about his experience there, but also tactically, Canada, Morocco Saturday. What does Jesse Marsch's team have to do? How have they played so far? The style, does it have a ceiling? Is it going to prevent them from beating the best sides in the world? So a great conversation with Colin to get you primed for the biggest Canadian soccer match ever. I understand the women have played an Olympic gold medal game. That is absolutely a huge, huge, huge achievement and game in and of itself. But I think it's fair to say that the World Cup is greater than the Olympic tournament in the world, in the eyes of soccer, right?
As a soccer term, yeah, I'd be curious to see what the eyeballs difference is, because it is just the Olympics. So just the
Olympics. It's a super big, important tournament, but the soccer World Cups are just these
and the Olympic tournament
in terms of the eyeballs they bring in. They're standalone, right? They're not as part of a.
And remember, on the women's side, the Olympic tournament is a legit tournament. It's not a U23 tournament like it is for men.
Well, right, yeah. But they have a World Cup too, and
smaller tournament though too.
Yeah. There were more than 5 million people who watched Canada, South Africa.
Second straight.
On Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It is the most watched soccer match in Canada outside of 3 World Cup finals that have gone before. And of course, games not involving Canada, but that shows you the power and the size of the audience for the World Cup final. Needless to say, there's going to be more people watching this game Saturday. And, this could do an Olympic hockey number on Saturday.
Yeah,
this could do a Blue Jays World Series Game 7 number.
The time is very accessible, but it's not usual. So that I'll be a little bit intrigued how that might affect it. Everybody can watch it.
Well, ideally you want it in prime time, but hey, I mean, 10 a.m. for us, 1 p.m. on the Eastern Seaboard is going to work. And Jeff Marek with a notebook dump and scouting reports on the 2030 and 2031 NHL draft classes. These are the 2012s and 2013s, everybody.
You think he's joking.
And I am not lying.
He is not.
Jeff has notes, lots and lots of notes.
Beyond just RJ
on
celebrating.
The best crops of Ontario 12, 13-year-olds that the Canucks might select with that 2013 pick.
Again,
some of them have NHL bloodlines.
And this is in-person scouting from Jeff Merrick. This is not elite prospects.
Oh, no.
Typing.
Jeff has seen these guys.
Yeah.
Or boys. They're
yes.
Some of them are prepubescent. And then later in the program, we'll talk more World Cup, what went down yesterday, what's going down here today. Toronto. Massive baseball weekend. We talked about off the top of the show. Mad Max Scherzer at the Nat tomorrow. Blue Jays in Seattle. Beautiful Canada Day game yesterday at Rogers Center, including a cool new initiative from the Jays to support baseball coast to coast. It involved a couple of BC boys. We'll get to that. Look forward to the Lions and Elks tomorrow or Saturday from Kelowna in the Apple Bowl. Lions really need a win. Buck Pierce needs a win here.
Mm-hmm.
Canada basketball, national team going in basketball as well in World Cup qualifiers. And, of course, Felix over at the championships, Wimbledon. So all that's coming up on today's show. Time now for our Bet365 bets of the day. I took a couple of futures yesterday, Blake. I'm on Switzerland to win in regulation time here. That's plus 100. I'm also on, that's tonight at BC Place, of course. I'm also on Portugal and Croatia requiring extra time in their match. That's the match from Toronto that's coming up at 4 o'clock today. That's a plus 275. Today I'm going to cast forward. Today I'm going to cast forward to the Saturday game, Canada and Morocco, because I'm not here tomorrow. So I want to get this in. And we've had a lot of success on the World Cup. Who's going to be our hero? Who wants the ball? Who do we want on that wall? Who do we need on that wall? Jonathan David. He's from my hometown. He's Canada's all-time leading goal scorer. He plays for world soccer giant Juventus. He had the hat trick against Qatar. He is the man to meet the moment. Give me your attacking midfielder / striker to be an anytime goal scorer Saturday at plus 350.
I went Gabriel Diallo, not to scoop our tennis segment, but Higon. I'm going to stay with the tennis, though, because Felix Auger seems to have a pretty favorable draw, as it turns out. And he hasn't dropped a set, so I'm going to go with the not dropping a set theme. Wins 3-love again in sets.
All right.
Plus 137.
Worst thing about hockey season is that, at some point every year it ends. And there's a lot of time between now and the first puck drop of next season, especially if you're watching these games nightly. Good news, Bet365 still has plenty of games, just none that require lacing up skates. At Bet365 Casino, you can choose between hundreds of slots, live tables, and your favorite games, or your second favorite games. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. Patrick Johnston is next. Harrison Price from the historic Wall Center. Patrick Johnston is a big shot columnist with the Province and Postmedia.
The biggest shot.
He doesn't work Canada Days anymore, Blake. Did you notice this?
In the morning.
Who sat out yesterday's big news day? Like, you want to be an NHL reporter, but I'm not working Canada Day. Come on. I mean, I'm knee deep with the family. That's the note I got. I'm like, can you join us from Rogers Arena? He goes, what time? He's like, what time? I'm thinking like 1. And he said, I'll be knee deep with the family. Canada Day festivities.
Nope. Cruz and I trade off. I do the draft. He does free agency. That's what happens when you're in a partnership.
The printing presses weren't running yesterday.
Also that. Anyway, I did the live blog, man. I was running a very popular live blog in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Very popular.
Very popular. All right.
Tooting his own horn here.
What did you do with your Canada Day then? Where'd you take the girls?
We go to Barnett Marine Park.
Okay.
And there's a lovely beach. And because the weather wasn't too hot and it wasn't too cold, it was not an overwhelmed beach like it can be sometimes. And so we had a marvelous time. I read a book and I took a nap. And the girls played in the sand with their friends and had some snacks. It was really great, Matt. You would have enjoyed it.
He read a book. He
no
took
smoking.
a nap on Canada Day. My goodness.
We did a 6-hour show.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
We sat here and waited 1 hour for the Marcus Pettersson trade return, only to learn it was a top 10 protected 2030 pick. And then we started researching 12, 13, 14-year-olds who may be eligible.
We did more skating than the prospects behind you did.
Can we talk about
yesterday.
that? Can we talk about that? Like, I literally saw that, and I'm like, everyone's like, oh, here's what you could draw. Everyone's missing the point. This is a bet that they are going to be in a position to use picks as currency to buy other things in 23. So forget about your 12-year-olds or whatever it is you need to look for. It's about the fact that they want to be, I'm saying, full speed ahead, down the torpedoes, Let's go, Ryan Johnston.
Not
I
even
love
in
the
2030.
confidence.
In 28-29, when it's only a year away, it's going to be worth a ton. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Except
it's currency to add. It's currency to add the next Marcus Pettersson.
No. You have no vision. RJ Celebrini is a prospect for the 2030 draft.
Yeah,
can't
but
get
he's
him.
not going to be. They can't get him.
Either
It's
because
top 10
they're
protected
bad
now.
enough, or they have this other pick that they can use
It's
as
top 10
currency to
protected.
make sure they get
Anyway.
RJ Celebrini.
Anyway.
It's
That's the play
that'd be
here.
lovely.
Still a good piece of business, though, isn't it,
Because
Patrick?
you
No,
bring
because then they're
RJ, and then
I
Macklin
don't-
follows, and then Bedard follows as well. And it's a super event. It's a Canucks super team made up of local legends.
I don't want to wait that long. I can't wait that long for the rebuild to unfold. I don't have the patience. You don't have
It's
the
only
patience.
4 years. It's only 4 years.
Only 4 years.
It would be a fast
want
rebuild. Most rebuilds take much longer than 4 years.
No, most rebuilds don't work because they don't hit their marks. And this is the thing. They don't hit their marks, and you have to hit home runs, and also you have to have a lot of good stuff. Canucks don't have any of those things. So I recognize what you're saying, but I am hoping to live in a world where they hit home runs on every single transaction from here through to 2029, so that they aren't just tracking to be back in the playoffs, but they are stepping into their contendo window in 2030. That's what I want, Matt. I want aggression. I want excitement. I want what the fans want, which is let's get out of this pit and let's get to where we need to be.
Effectively, our poll question is asking what's the next home run, if there is one this summer. Do they trade DeBrusk or Elias Pettersson, or are they done, or is there another trade? Is there a surprise Philip Hronek trade?
I don't think there's a surprise Philip Hronek trade, but I do think there's still a good chance of a PD trade. Now, the challenge there is what even with retention, what is an acceptable return, even given the inherent risk to the other team, right? Is a second round pick acceptable retention? I don't think so. I think you're still asking for more than that. I don't think this is simply a salary dump, because at the end of the day, the player at least plays defense. Now, doesn't score, needs a new environment, but the bet is the other team is not just taking a problem off your hands, but they are betting, say you're Kenny Holland, you are betting that this is a guy that can fill in a huge hole on my roster and can bounce back. So that's what it is. And so I think the Canucks are hopefully holding firm, and I assume they're holding firm on such an idea, and that is something that will happen because they've been smart about it, and they've recognized there are teams out there that fundamentally do need to take a swing and try to win right now, which is in the end, like I said, the Canucks are going to try to take a swing hopefully in 4 years. So they're in whatever team they're trading with, whether it's Montreal or LA or what have you, that they're ready to take a swing, and that the player is something that they're willing to take a bet on. So there we are.
Now, I also will add to that, he is at worst a 55 point, like to this point, at worst a 55 point pace player.
Yeah.
Look at what a 55 point pace player. Look at what Tyson Forster signed for yesterday. Tyson Forster, who is a 17-point player last year in 29 games, mind you. 43-point player in a full season the year before that. $7.1 million a season.
Yeah.
So, that's just off the top of my head. Like, people need to get their heads around what 11.6 means in today's age. And that's assuming that he is a 55-point player, which I think would anybody be surprised if he's a 65-point player next year? I don't think that would be a massive surprise. And if he's a 65-point player, my God, like he's a $10 million player in today's market.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned Tyson Forster, because he's the kind of guy that I think is a good thing to consider. He's a guy that I would consider throwing a Selke vote at, right? I would consider throwing a Selke vote at Elias Pettersson. Like, there is value in these players. Forster is on a much better curve right now than Pettersson is. He has shown himself to be a quality, competent two-way winger. Pettersson plays center and has been a dud offensively. But no, you're right. Like, there are values in these kinds of guys. And so that's the thing that, like, as I said, this is a player that you are making a bet on. And if you are making a bet on the player, it's because you believe in them, not because you're taking a cap dump. This isn't some weird world where you're trying to dump off a bad contract on the the erstwhile Arizona Coyotes, right? Like this is a guy that you were saying we think he can be a better player than he's been here, but he needs a fresh start. We cannot provide the fresh start because it doesn't work here, but it'll work in wherever. So yeah, like you hold out, you say there is value in this player, even if we're willing to retain. There is value in this player, and you will get a huge advantage if this player pans out with that retention, if that's how it has to work.
Does Paul Cotter move the needle for you?
Not really. I mean, you need guys. He'll be fun. He's an upgrade on Curtis Douglas, I guess.
He is,
He'll bang,
no doubt.
he'll bang and crash for sure. And but I think Blake, you made the point. Like this guy's never killed penalties, and generally, or was it Matt? One of you guys brought that up, and like if he just doesn't kill penalties, like
it's an odd profile, right? Because like
it is an odd profile.
He's got the skills to kill.
Big body,
Yeah.
who can skate, long reach, wingspan too. Like gobbles up a lot of space.
Yeah.
And yet has almost never killed a penalty in his national hockey league.
And it's the old Ray, the thing that Ray used to say, right? I think he's talking about Jake Virtanen. It's like the moment they stop asking you to do more, they start asking you to do less, and then it's all over, right? And like Cotter is, listen, he clearly is an effective player at 5-on-5, and he helps your fourth line. But like, unless he can find a way to do more, no, it's sort of great. You've got guys in the lineup. He's going to work hard, hopefully every night, and collect a paycheck and win a few fans over with the way he plays, and that'll be it.
Can you just do me a favor and provide the oversight on this? Because I know Paul Chapman and Ben Kuzma. I know of their generation, and I can see them in the newsroom. I guess you don't have a newsroom anymore, but back in the day in a newsroom, teeing about the Canucks landing a guy named Cotter. I don't want any kind of John Travolta references, no Gabe Kaplan reference, no Horseshack references. Okay, I don't want to see any kind of lead from Kuzma that plays off. Welcome back.
If he goes on a 12-game goal drought and then finally scores another goal, welcome back, Cotter.
Well, he's sitting right over behind me, so I'll make sure as soon as I'm done here, I'll give him the memo. And I'll let him know.
Banned.
Yes.
We used to get a note every year at the Globe, late November, a reminder: 'tis the season. Leads are banned during the holiday season. Yeah. Okay. Same question, Jamie Oleksiak. Does he move a needle for you?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, biggest guy in the NHL? Is that right? I think that's right. Mass size.
Is Curtis Douglas in the NHL? I thought he was the biggest guy.
He's
the
heavier.
tallest?
No, Oleksiak's heavier.
Yeah.
He's a player. Like, it's interesting. I need to go back and look, because I know I was in Pittsburgh when he, like, very early on in my beat reporting time, he'd been either recalled in Pittsburgh. I don't think he made his NHL debut, but it was kind of like he's taking the step forward. This is, by the way, the Jim Rutherford Pittsburgh Penguins, like 2018, but he's taking a big step forward. And, he was sort of, you're like, well, he's just a freak. That's what people love talking about. But, he's built out a nice career, and he was a handy player in Seattle. And I think he's a guy that, listen, for a team that needs to show heart and hustle every night, and it's similar to the Cotter acquisition, that's what this guy's going to do. And it's not always going to be necessarily pretty hockey, but it's going to be hopefully hardworking, grinding, thunderous hockey, if you will. And I think he matches that profile. Everything they did yesterday told me this. They've got a clear sense of what they need to be in the interim while they're holding on and trying to sort of get things reset. Is that this needs to be a team of guys that work hard and show the fans that they're into it and that they're pointing in the right direction, and obviously build something for the young guys coming through, and they can see what hard work at least looks like.
At $5 million per year, though, I feel like that is a contract built in the fine print. Here is we will be retaining 50% in order to facilitate a trade.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Right.
It's a smart move. Yeah. And it's saying, listen, guy, here's how the system works. We're happy to have you here. We'd love to have you here, and we will help you land somewhere really cool at the end of the year, because you'll be huge value to someone, and that's smart. I mean, this is one of those ones where I've talked about not leaving things by the side of the road, and I've talked about the DeBrusk story, and I've talked about the Tulsky story about adding picks left, right, and center on everything you do. And this is chance to potentially do that, right? Like that this is a guy that will have value to a team heading into the playoffs. And you'll get some fun, and he'll be a cult hero, a cult figure here, and then he'll be gone.
But with all this talk about budget,
they're in the bottle drive game.
But with all
Yes,
like this is a really
Turn 'em in.
smart contract.
Get your refunds.
But it also doesn't fit into this budgetary thing that we're talking about because they overpaid for Oleksiak with the intention, I think, on retaining salary when they do trade him. So that flies in the face of everything we've been hearing about their budgetary constraints.
Well, I mean, we'll see in the end, in the long run, what all happens here, right? If they're able to get off another forward, and if they are, then it's sort of
washes. Yeah,
that washes. That's where you're at. They're already down year over year. That puts them where they seem to want to be.
Can Luke Schenn still play? And if the answer is no, does it matter? Is it all about the vibes and at practice?
It's funny. I thought about that. Does it matter? Like I actually thought about that when we had him on our Zoom yesterday. I was on the Zoom, man. Okay, just listen.
He was working. Still working.
And no, listen. He played 2 playoff games for Buffalo. They did not go very well.
No.
But like Buffalo was playing at a pace at which he was not suited to do, right? And listen, Canucks will want to play with pace, want to play with hustle. Will Luke Schenn be an everyday player? I have no idea. But there's a guy that will recognize that he's a 6'7" now. He's done it before. He did it in Winnipeg. And that is the kind of guy that you need just to show up every day, who recognizes the value of his career and, obviously has a story, but it's not about telling a story. It's just setting an example and being a good character and not complaining. He is in that role. He's going to do that job. And that's the point, is that, again, the point is the team works hard, shows up every day, is clinical in all it does. It, recognizes it's not going to win every night, but it's going to show up every night. And he's a guy that will help push that mentality. And that is what he's here for.
Ronak, Oleksiak, Schenn, Mancini, Bouillon, Wielander, Pettersson. Those are the 7 guys under contract right now. Are those your 7 opening night defensemen? Is there a chance Kudryavtsev pushes his way in there?
Hey, listen, Kudryavtsev's smart enough and plays the game well enough that, he could certainly push. EP25 did not have a very good year. Mancini, I think, is a real bubble guy at this point.
Yep.
I think Kudryavtsev, has a chance here, absolutely. And you look at the coach, right? The coach knows him well, right? Like that's the thing in his favor, is that the coach is going to have a realistic chance of saying, I do like this guy more than that guy, if that's how he feels. We'll see. I don't know that one way or another. But, he's seen a lot of all these young defensemen. That's true. And knows it well, right? Like he's going to be able to now judge fairly and accurately whether there is further growth to be had or whether it's time to move on from a guy.
And he's got an interesting perspective. He's got a before and an after picture now. Yeah. Come training camp,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So listen, from that perspective, again, that's another exciting thing. Here's a coach coming in, see what he can do with some of these young guys who really had a hard time last season.
Well, and they ought to give Mancini a run. I mean, there are physical and athletic attributes there that are quite attractive.
You got to find out. Yeah. You got to find out.
I recognize we might be at a point where it's like, okay, Victor, just go off and be a third pair, safe, stay at home defenseman. But if you're in a rebuild, you got a little more license. You can let him run a little bit. Let's see what he is transporting the puck as a puck carrier alongside.
Exactly.
Okay. Are you going to Seattle to cover the Blue Jays?
No.
What's with the disdain in the end? Come on, this is a big deal. This is the single biggest gathering of Canadians outside our borders each and every year. You think the watch party on Saturday morning for this match down by T-Mobile is going to be lit?
Watch party?
What are you talking about?
What's the biggest story on Saturday, Matt?
It's the footy match. But
and is anybody from my company there? So there's your answer.
Okay.
We don't travel.
This is a driver. This is a driving trip. It's just gas. It's just mileage. You don't even spend the night.
I think you're going to get the answer. Well, see how many Blue Jays fans are there. There will be Blue Jays fans, but I'm saying it'll be way down.
Patrick, here's the story for you, okay?
If it's down, that's a story. If it's down, that's absolutely a story.
Patrick, and I track this every year.
Matt found $1.50 tickets. Is that the story?
Patrick, we are sitting on the aisle, third baseline, like 20 rows up above the Blue Jays dugout, for 150 Canadian a pop. That is the cheapest I have seen tickets in that part of the stadium for years. We've got outfield seats for $50, 50 some bucks.
Yeah,
on
that is
Friday.
that
And
that
then-
is something.
Shitty Jays are really
Blake,
good for Matt's pocketbook.
Here's the
Matt.
other thing. Here's the other thing. Hotels. 2 years ago, 4th of July weekend, Blue Jays in Seattle. You don't know how many people, how many favors I had to call in here within the Marriott Sheraton family to find room at a Lake Union property for $400 US a night. We're at the Sheraton Grand downtown for $219 US a night. Okay.
Matt, back
This
in
is
the day, were you
4th of July weekend with the Blue Jays in town, and they have a footy match on Monday. There, Belgium, USA.
Matt, back in the day, were you a Starwood guy or a Marriott guy?
I was both. I collected
Oh.
points from both. I know it was not most efficient, but that's just
No,
the way
wow,
I had
okay.
to go.
Anyway,
Sometimes
you
they
know
would
what,
book me as
Matt?
Starwood. Sometimes they would book me Marriott. But now I am firmly a Marriott Sheraton guy. We have been here for 5+ years at the Wall Center. Shout out Sean Anderson
Starwood is Marriott.
and the great team.
They are now, yeah.
So I am very loyal. We're good tenants. We pay the rent on time, and so they give me friendly rates when I go around to other Marriott
Matt,
Sheraton
just
properties.
listen. It's a great story idea. Do me a favor. Just have your phone with you. Record some color. Just
I
talk
will.
to some people.
I
Send
will.
me what you got.
Streeters.
And I'll write a lovely
Wait, hold on. I'm doing
And
streeters for
I'll
you.
I'll give you a files from. How about that?
Okay, that sounds good. Your union may have a thing
I'll
or two
give
to
you
say
a
about
file
that.
from-
They do have to pay me by the letter of the contract. But just lastly, like
Yes.
Blake and I were talking, like how sad it's going to be on Wednesday morning when we wake up and there's no more World Cup games in our city. Like
I
the vibe
know.
is just out of this world.
Yeah.
Like there was
Yeah.
an Algerian. Like we're going to see the video later. There was an Algerian party on Granville
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
night. It's
Everyone
amazing.
shows up. It's amazing.
Guys,
Yeah.
All
even
the
more.
Salah stuff.
And the get-in
So,
price
like,
for
when Egypt was here?
Salah.
I mean, amazing.
He wants to live
Like,
here. The Whitecaps should sign him. If
Even,
they're still
even
around.
more sad, guys. We have a dark day in the World Cup a week from today.
No.
A week from yesterday, July 8th. There ain't nothing.
Okay, we
on
got to
the
play
schedule.
What are we gonna
Let me
do?
see. We're gonna
Yeah.
play golf. We're
What
gonna
are we gonna
finally
do?
we're gonna get back to playing the game of the golf, which we haven't been doing a lot of because of
World Cup.
no, we have an event that day, Blake.
Well, here, can I bring
Okay.
J-Pat over because he can talk to you guys about what you're going to do that. Okay.
Oh, okay. all right.
Yes. I just recognized what we're doing that day. Okay, carry on at
Yes.
Rogers Forum and Abbotsford. They're doing 3-on-3 games, but because they only have 5 defensemen there, poor Aiden Celebrini is the only defense
Yes,
man
I saw that.
on his team. So it's not defense
I saw
men
that.
for Group 3,
That's
it's defense
exhausting.
man.
That's exhausting. Yeah.
All right,
I'm
but-
tired. Just welcome back.
carry.
There we
Yeah,
go.
thank you.
Oh! Horseshack.
Sick Harrison Price from the historic Wall Center. Our next guest is a former coach, head, and assistant with the Canadian men's national team. A former player on the Canadian men's national team, went to the 86 World Cup, Mexico, 61 caps, 5 goals for Canada all time. He, of course, calls Whitecaps matches for CKNW and Chorus. It has been a long time, Colin Miller, but we are absolutely delighted to have you on the show and talk about this huge match on Saturday. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, Matt. It's a pleasure to see you and Mr. Price. You're right, it has been a little while, but always delighted to be back on the show, and hopefully I can make sense of what's going to transpire here on Saturday.
Condolences on your other team too, not making it through. I know they had a lot of fun. The Scots did, but alas, they did not get through.
They just gave Brazil 2 goals. It's got to drive a coach and a Scotsman crazy. They just gave Brazil 2 goals
Well, we have a
inside
heart
their
of
own
gold.
box.
We have a heart of gold, and we drank Boston dry. Not just me; I had help. While I was doing it. But it was everything you could imagine with the Tartan Army. My son and I and a few friends were down at the Scotland-Haiti game in the stadium, and goodness me, guys, what a thrill it was! What a privilege it was! A wonderful atmosphere, and it was just a night that we'll never forget. And the rest of the tournament, wow, let's carry on with how Canada are doing.
The colonies have really had fun, like New Zealand, Australia, Canada. Like we've all had just a real good party, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
We know how to do it.
Thank God the English invented this game. And if I can speak Scottish with them for a second, like a braw bit of business from the Tartan Army. That Super John McGinn tune is a belter, and there was good crack had in both Boston
look at you.
and South Florida. Attaboy, Colin.
You put that through Google Translate into Scottish.
If only I could find. If only they could find a good Nips and Tatties place in New England. But
it was fantastic.
Colin, we wanted to. Well, first of all, hey, before we get going, I saw that Paul Dolan, Bobby Leonarduzzi, Carl Valentine were interviewed on the TSN set the other day, and Luke Wildman has been pushing this file and good on him for it. There have been a lot of builders of the Canadian soccer project who got it to this stage, and we're talking to one right here from his home in Abbotsford. Colin, it must be so rewarding for someone like you who's poured their life into the game to see this event and see this team and see this country getting swept up by the beautiful game.
Yeah, I think it's fabulous, Matt. You're right. The builders, the people that we were sitting around. I took my son Ryan to the Canada-Switzerland game at BC Place, and to the section that we were sitting in, there was a lot of alumni there, coaches and players, and ex-players, I should say, and it was just great seeing the faces and players that had played before my time that were there as well. I just thought it was such a privilege to sit in amongst those guys, because it wasn't always first class seats and air conditioned everywhere you go. That's for sure. I remember, and Big Dolly will back me up here, when I first started with the national team, we used to get a pair of Copa Mundial and World Cup football boots from Adidas, and by the end of my career as a player, 1997, I think, was my last cap. We got a pair of socks. We got 3 pairs of socks. So rather than getting 2 pairs of football boots, we got 3 pairs of socks. So things certainly changed on a downward spiral for a while.
Oh my gosh,
but,
that's unbelievable.
No, I mean there was a time, Colin, where like the Voyageurs were protesting outside of stadiums for Canadian matches, turning their backs to the action. I mean, Blake and I were doing the show years ago with the 8-0 loss to Honduras, and we you remember that, to get into what do they call it, the Hex qualifying, and we were and we sat there and said to ourselves, okay, is this ever going to happen for this country? I mean, the program was so down at one point. So
it's such a high for
now,
BC content as well, right? There's so many guys from the 86 team with BC ties, or made BC ties at the very least, right up to Tony Waiter. So great for all of you guys to enjoy this, and I think I hope you guys are taking a piece of this forward. The question is now, can they continue the magic here, Colin? It has been a really fun run, but the rubber has hit the road and then some with the 6th ranked team. And people might not clock for a lot of people here, Colin, that Morocco is now the 6th ranked team in the world. Yeah,
it's a great point, Blake, because I've played against Morocco with the national team and actually scored against them in Casablanca, believe it or not. It was a 30-yard free kick, if you can believe this. And as I'm getting older, it's getting a bit further away from the goal. but
one day it will be the David Beckham goal.
I heard the story. The guys were sitting on the sideline, and Tony Waiters was the manager at the time. He says, well, who's going to take this free kick? And what the hell's Miller doing in front of the ball? Oh, what a goal that is. He said on the same sentence. But they were good in those days as well. I mean, that was a good Moroccan team at that time. We did a tour of North Africa, and this team here, it's an unfashioned. It doesn't have a glamorous ring about it, Morocco. So people think, oh, Morocco, it can't be that good. It's not a Brazil or an Argentina or a France. It doesn't have the sexiness behind it. But I'll tell you what, this team, and I saw them firsthand playing against Scotland. Scotland were really fortunate to draw Brazil and Morocco in the same group. So they were relentless. And it wasn't until the last 20 minutes, guys, when Scotland actually started to put some tackles in. and put them under a bit of pressure and then start to attack, that they made an impression on Morocco. They basically would run up to the player in possession of the football and stop 5 yards away from them. And it was driving me crazy watching it, because if you give good players time, they will destroy you. And that's what Morocco were doing. And they did the same to Brazil prior to that. So this is no fluke where they are, guys. This is easily the most difficult team that we've played in the tournament. And I say that with the greatest respect to all the teams that we've played. If we don't compete, we will get beat on Saturday. Simple as that.
Huh.
Well, if Jesse Marsch's tactics hold form, they're certainly not going to give them time. This high press, Colin, and Jesse is committed. He said, look, this is our identity. This is what we do. This is who we are. There's no turning back. And yet people who know far more about the game than I, sir, seem to have a discussion that can Canada beat world heavyweights playing this way?
Given the space that you create underneath that high press, right? And if they break it, they really break it.
Yeah, talk to me, sir. Can Canada employ this style, which has been highly entertaining, I will give it that, and beat some of the world's best, including Morocco Saturday?
Yeah, I have to say, guys, that I thought watching the South Africa game, rightly or wrongly, that we tried to go in a high press for about the first 15, 20 minutes, and South Africa managed to play through that press because the timing of players getting up to the ball, the next players in behind the pressing player, it was just off slightly. And South Africa got through us. And then after the hydration break, which is awful, by the way, after the hydration break, or the advertisement break, let's say, I thought Jesse made a real good tactical adjustment where he dropped the line. We'll call it the line of confrontation when the ball comes into a sort of midfield area. I thought Canada reacted really well to that. I thought we looked much more compact and decisive as a unit defensively now. And I think we either have to go high press and do it properly, or you'll get destroyed, or you sit back a little bit off and allow them to have the ball in the back four. But then there are what we call trigger moments when the ball plays into a certain area where, guys, we go guns a-blazing and try to hunt and win that football back as quickly as possible. Because if that pressure is disjointed in any way against this caliber team, yeah, you're putting yourself under pressure.
And Vandy and Jesper have both employed similar sort of tactics about high press at times, using Brian White and all this. So we know that as Whitecaps fans watching the same sort of thing. So they could just do that and just say, hey, it'll be one or the other, the two options that you talked about. Other people have talked about something wholly different. And they have at times played five at the back, generally protecting leads. They've played five at the back. Some think, hey, we've just got to protect the goal. Let's go five at the back. Others, talking to Vanny last week after the Canadians progressed, he suggested maybe dropping a striker and adding Nico Sigur alongside Saliba and Eustáquio and having three midfielders. Do either of those more drastic changes tickle your fancy, even though it sounded like Jesse Marsch was pushing back against them?
Well, you used two words there, Blake. Drastic changes come into the equation here. That Jesse Marsch has, let's say, during his tenure, has consistently played a very, very similar type of football. To all of a sudden change things. Now, unless Jesse has been working with the team, I used to do this when I was a manager of FC Edmonton. When we were going to play the Whitecaps, as an example, in the Canadian Championship, I would start to work with the team 2 weeks before we played the Whitecaps, but I'd do it in an afternoon session. So in the morning, it would be FC Edmonton getting ready to play whoever it was, New York Cosmos or Tampa Bay Rowdies. But then in the afternoon, I say, okay, guys, it wasn't a physically demanding session. It was more of a team shape and an organization type of thing. Here's how we're going to shape up against the Vancouver Whitecaps. And it really worked. There were no surprises to when we played against the Whitecaps, and we were unlucky not to beat them on a couple of occasions. So if Jesse has been preparing them slightly that, hey, we may play one of these teams, here's how we may change. If he's done that as part of his training session, then it's not a drastic change. But if all of a sudden he's gone from South Africa this way, oh, by the way, guys, we're going to play five at the back today, and the team hasn't played it for so long, there is an element of players not knowing the timing of things.
And
so
you don't want that, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't foresee that happening, Blake. I think that he will go with the back four. Maybe he drops another player into midfield, which is understandable. But we have to have an out ball. And I think Jonathan David has to stay as far up the field as he possibly can, because he, you know, you look at, if it hadn't been for Harry Kane, England would have been out of the tournament by now. But he stays inside that 18-yard box now. He's the killer inside that 18-yard box. We need to get Jonathan David as far up the park. Now, if we're going to drop in into midfield, then, you know, Jonathan David is not a midfield player, regardless of any way you want.
He stays up, and then the three midfielders do their thing. Yeah,
he stays up. Now, if it's Oleksiak, and Jonathan David, it's still doable. But if it's Jonathan David or the other centre forward who drops into that to make it a 5 when we've lost possession, that's okay. But then as soon as we win it, those two strikers have got to get as high up the park as we can. It's easy on paper, guys. It's easy on paper. But the one thing for sure is you're playing in an air-conditioned stadium. So you're not talking 40 degrees outside as it is in Houston.
That helps. Yeah.
So it's a major, major factor here, Blake. Absolutely major factor, because I've been down there with the Whitecaps, and I actually was the coach against the US when we drew 0 each against them in a friendly in Houston. And let me say, it's a wee bit warmer than Scotland in July, that's for sure.
I would assume, yes.
Not their hearts, though. Not their hearts.
Absolutely.
It was 10 years ago last month when young 15-year-old Alphonso Davies stepped foot on pitch for the Whitecaps versus the Ottawa Fury in the Canadian Championship. His first appearance for the senior Whitecaps, still nearly 6 months shy of his 16th birthday, Colin. You've watched this young man forever. I mean, you were in Edmonton coaching there. You were in Vancouver calling games here. How does he look to you? How much hope do you put in the fact that Alphonso Davies could be difference maker or a rescue man for Canada on Saturday?
30 to 45 minutes. What do you think?
Yeah, I think 30, Blake, to be honest with you. I think he's at the stage now, and fair play to everyone. I mean, he had his own personal trainer come over from Bayern Munich for a long spell during this rehab. So there's been a lot of time, a lot of energy getting Fonzie back to this playing level. And Jesse Marsch he's been a wily fox here at times. To use him as a decoy, I mean, I thought that was quite clever. I don't know how much attention the opposition would have paid to the decoy, but you know, he's trying to protect Fonzie, and maybe he's had a view on him getting more minutes. I think psychologically, it's great that he's had that 15 minutes against South Africa. I think he's managed to get through it. I still think there's an element of comfort zone there with Fonzie in that 15 minutes. This game here, I don't foresee him starting, Blake. I really don't foresee him starting. No. I'm not convinced about Richie Laryea. I think it would be, for me, a wonderful swap. Alphonso Davies come into left back and Ali Ahmed come in the wide left position. That would be a fantastic scenario for me from an attacking point of view as well. But I don't see too many changes back four-wise with Canada. It breaks my heart to say Alistair Johnston plays for Celtic. Goodness me, I can't believe I said that. But I think he's been our best player, to be honest with you. I think he's been very, very consistent at right fullback. But I don't foresee us changing that. But Fonzie, if he does come on, and which I'm sure he will do, I think we'll get 20, 25 minutes out of him. But the expectation will be for him to make the same impact that he did, because he did change the team. The body language of a few players, all of a sudden we've got a world-class outlet to give the ball to, and someone who wants the ball as well, Blake. He's not someone who comes on and hides and, I hope I get it, or he wants the ball. He wants to do what he does so well, and what he did fantastic for the Whitecaps doing, and that was running at defenders. So it'd be wonderful to see him. I think you look at how well Bombito has done coming through the injury, but he got an hour, 75 minutes, whatever it was, that to get those minutes under his belt. Fonzie has only had 15 minutes, and I think everybody deserves a lot of credit. Will we see 45 minutes out of it? I don't think so.
Here's now that we're in the pub here, we're just us guys having a beer.
A Guinness, I'll have a Guinness.
Colin's seen the inside of a pub. Huh?
I think he might know. I'm going to throw something really radical at you. Tell me if you've ever heard of this under these circumstances. Like, let's say he's got a 30-minute cap on him. It might be 2-0 Morocco at the 60th minute. It might be pointless almost.
Yeah.
Do you start a guy for 30 minutes to get a good start, to get your feet underneath you, and give yourself a chance to take a lead on that team maybe before the break and make a very uncustomary, I understand, 30-minute substitution? Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't, Blake. I would go against that. I understand what you're saying. Get off to a really good start, but if you think that Fonzie coming on fresh for the last half hour, playing against a player who's had an hour already under his belt, a little bit fatigued, you'd think, yeah, we could get success out of this situation. That's how I would look at it, Blake. Because as I say, I'm not convinced that Richie Laryea at left fullback for us. But he's been consistent, if you like. He's been in that left back position. So I think we're going to be okay that way. Although the centre back pairing concerns me a little bit as well. That's my weakness for Canada. I think is back four wise. I don't think we're the finished article there yet. I don't think we've genuinely been under a lot of pressure yet, guys. And when Switzerland stepped up a gear, we were kind of left wanting a couple of times.
October 24th, 1984, Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium in Rabat, Morocco. This guy's first goal for Canada to give us a 2-1 lead. We would not hold it and fall 3-2. Then he took 7 more years to score for the national team, but he did it at the LA Coliseum. Look at you picking the big venues to score your goals.
Yeah,
for Canada.
These Mickey Mouse stadiums, it's got to be big.
No one's there.
Unless there's 90,000 people
there. Get away.
That's right.
Yeah, fantastic.
Where are you watching the match Saturday? Take me into the Colin Miller experience watching Canada.
Well, it's interesting, Matt. I'm the MC at my niece's wedding on Saturday in Burnaby, and so yes,
it's a 10 a.m. game. It's a 10 a.m. game. It's okay.
10 a.m. game, and you've got to hear me out here. We've got 6 of the family coming over from Scotland for the wedding, so and 4 of them will be staying with us. So it'll be very much a family occasion in the house, watching the game at 10 a.m. But we'll all have our gear on and getting ready to cheer on the boys. What an occasion, guys! Listen, what an occasion. The country has embraced the team, and it's been fabulous to see all the beer gardens, all the celebrations going on. Being a part of, I saw and was part of the Boston situation down there with the Scots family fans, and then Ryan and I were down with Canada and Switzerland, and there was a Swiss that did their march and singing through very early, going past the big ball down at downtown Vancouver. And then all of a sudden the Canadians kicked in, and I was so proud. I have goosebumps now talking about it, guys. But it was absolutely everything that I thought it would be. It didn't. The crowd didn't let us down at all. Unfortunately, the result didn't go the way we wanted it. But goodness me, the country has done the Canadian team so much proud.
Did the Colin Miller who got 3 free pairs of socks? Did he ever think that these scenes would happen?
Well, I certainly wanted it, Blake. Certainly wanted it.
Sure.
No question about it. I was, during my 10 games as the interim head coach, the team was called Unattached FC, if you recall that, guys. Unattached FC. There were players, even when I had the team for the Gold Cup, we started away with a squad, I think, of 22 and finished up with 17 or 18 because players had left to go to try and get contracts back in the UK or elsewhere. We had one player who needed an IV into each arm at halftime because we didn't realise that he was or he didn't tell anybody. I won't go into it, but there were 2 ambulance people, 2 paramedics with him at halftime. Russell Tybert fell ill. We lost Russell for the last 2 games as well. There was a whole series of things that happened that nobody ever knew about. And, David Edgar was the captain of the side at the time, and he stood up after I was finished. We drew 0-0 each with Panama in the last game, and he said, his words, not mine, that you were fantastic. No, you didn't throw anybody under the bus. You didn't, make excuses. We just got on with it. And what I was doing was getting the team ready for the next manager coming in. And even that, my first day at training, the head coach got announced, but he wasn't part of the program at that time. He was just watching from above, and so that I had people watching from upstairs. So it wasn't easy, but what a thrill, what a privilege.
Well, we got another one to win Saturday, and Canada, France from Boston.
I think we got to book a flight.
Canada, France from Boston. Colin can show us around Boston. He knows that town well now, if he can remember everything.
I can remember going in, but I can't remember coming out.
Colin, enjoy the match Saturday. Thank you for the time,
Colin.
my friend.
Great. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the game. Cheers. Bye.
Harrison Price from the historic Wall Center in Vancouver. We head to Toronto, where Jeff Marek is standing by. Daily, the sheet here on the Nation Network. He did the big free agency special yesterday. It ran long, believe it or not, Blake. And he has great expertise in the 2030 and 2031 NHL draft class.
This is just the man for the job.
Guys,
as he calls them, 2012s.
You guys are insane. You
and
guys
2013s.
Great show yesterday, and I was just howling in my car, listening to you guys go for Jeff Pettersson, listening to you guys prattle on about the 2030 or 2031 because it's top 10 protected draft, and I'm like, dollars to donuts. Maddie's gonna send me a text. What do you know about the 2012s? And sure enough, it's just so I do have a 2012. To sound like a douchebag hockey dad. And so I do know, but I only really know the group in Ontario. Like, I'm not savage enough. Like, I'm not savage, although I am going to throw one name at you for the 2013s. This is going to be so bad for me. I'll tell you a quick story. I remember Stan Butler. I think he would have been with North Bay at that point. It was an OHL trade deadline. And I called him up afterwards. And I was like, so how do you think you did? And he goes, I got home and my wife yelled at me. And I'm like, why did your wife yell at you? He said, I walked in the front door and my wife was so mad. She says, do you realize you just traded an 8-year-old? It's one of those OHL deals that like you see that like, or you see it in all the junior hockey leagues that extend like 9 years down the road. She's like, you are insane. There's an 8-year-old out there somewhere that you just traded. Have you no shame? And that's kind of what the Marcus Pettersson.
That's what happens.
I will say,
kind of felt like yesterday.
Two things. Number one, in defense of our program yesterday, hey, we cover everything, Jeff, an inch wide and a mile deep, brother. If we need to go down the 2030, 2031 NHL draft classes, we will. And then secondly,
I heard you talk about RJ Celebrini.
Yeah, that's right. Did you hear how excited I got about RJ?
So my question is, when do the Canucks start to make the move to move up that pick in the 2030 draft to get RJ Celebrini? Can you make a trade to remove the trade protection? I think that's right.
What you're
that's what we're looking at. Yes, and will for the next 4 years. Actually,
we have 4 years to work on it.
It's it. You know, I thought one of the good points that came out might have been Pettersson or might have been one of you two guys who brought up the great point. Like that might just be like the final piece of a puzzle at that point. Like that might not even be a pick that the Vancouver Canucks need. Which was that yours? Okay, good job, attaboy. I know. Pat yourself on the back. I don't throw your shoulder out, patting yourself on the back there. Like, oh, there you go. All right, well done. So can we start off by doing like total like way too geeky hockey talk here for 2012s and 2013s? Because there are a couple of names that I want to float by you guys, and there's some with some NHL connections. You guys already mentioned RJ Celebrini. Now I know the Ontario group. I'm not savage enough to know the kids in the United States and Quebec and the Western loops, but so you mentioned RJ Celebrini, and yeah, he's of course top of that 2012 draft class, but there is like if you go to Elite Prospects, the prospect in Ontario for the 2012 is Clive Mashinter. My kids played against all these guys, and he's excellent. Big, tall kid, North York Rangers.
Sorry, what's his name?
Clive Mashinter.
Clive Mashinter.
Can you spell it for us, please?
CLIVEMACHINTER. Clive Mashinter. He's an outstanding player, plays with North York. He's a tremendous player. There is a Tristan Reynolds who plays with JRC, who is excellent. There is a Liam Crump who plays in the OMHA with YSE. He is excellent as well. That YSE team is a little bit stacked, and just added the son of Rafi Torres, Ty Torres. My kid used to play on his team, into that mix too. So there's
We got to get Rafi on the show. We got to get Rafi on the show. Rafi's been on the show several times in retirement.
Ask him about Ty.
He's
Ask
an
him
absolute
about Ty.
beauty.
Ty's an excellent player. Excellent player. Matthew Dodick is another player with the Marlboros for the 2012s. But the thing about players at this age is, I remember having this conversation. Oh God, I've had this kind of conversation with people before. Players that are either bigger than everybody else when they're 12 or 13 years old, or just faster than everybody else. The question becomes, because they're skating with an advantage that's going to stop, because everyone's going to catch up in size and everyone's going to learn how to skate. And so everything's going to sort of level out. And the question becomes, what do you do when all the advantages that you've skated with vanish? So there is one player in the 2012s in Ontario who's on the smaller end of things, but if you want to go scout on it, Dad's 6'3". This kid's 5'2". And when you watch him play, it's all about the hockey sense and how he sees the ice. His name is Josh Hackett. He plays on North York as well. He's not the biggest kid, but as far as creativity goes and vision and all that, when you hear scouts talk about projections, the name Mitch Marner continues to pop up. Now, Mom's 5'5", Dad's 6'3". We'll see where he ends up.
I love that you have Mom's height. I love that you have Mom's height. That's Hackett, Hackett, no relation to Jeff?
Josh, no.
Josh.
No, Josh Hackett plays with North York.
And
now,
if
this gets pushed,
can we just pause for a second?
This is such sicko territory, honestly. Like it's
no, because he's
Blake
mentioned
wants
this
no part of
twice
his own
now.
show now.
He's mentioned this twice, and so I have to jump in.
Yeah.
What sort of bankrupt state is Canadian hockey in when you tell me I only know the Ontario kids? You're telling me families aren't getting on planes and traveling several thousand kilometers here to British Columbia to play travel weekend tournaments? Like, are we not playing travel hockey anymore? You only know the Ontario kids?
No.
How is this possible?
No, they are. But
I expect you to know the Michigan suburbs, the Boston suburbs, upstate New York, BC, Alberta, maybe the prairies.
So here's my problem, is I can only do the local tournaments with my kids during hockey season because I do a daily show like you guys. So I can do the local ones. I can't do all the big travel ones. Like, I remember when I did with my older kid the Chicago tournament. This was with the 2010s, and we got to see that little Caesars team, that powerhouse, and a number of them have already made. Yeah, it was impressive, and they ran the table. But it's only times like that I'm actually, and that was a spring tournament. It's only times like that I'm able to actually, see what's happening in Quebec and see what's happening Manitoba West and see what's happening in the United States. So you'd have to ask my wife, who might be better informed about.
I love that you can drop
Little
Little Caesars and everybody knows what you're talking about in hockey.
Well, hey,
it's a pizza joint, and you just drop it in. We're like, we take it.
I was a Cub reporter covering, I believe they call it the Capital Cup, the big tournament in Ottawa over Christmas.
Yep,
it's right around the
it's great.
Quebec.
It's great tournament.
Yeah. And
awesome tournament.
Little Caesars played CompuWare, so in all Detroit,
all corporate.
So it was all
what that was.
It was Peter Carmanos versus Mike Ilitch, as played out by 13-year-old hockey players from Detroit playing in Ottawa in a tournament final.
That was once played out by a Sergei Fedorov offer sheet. That was Ilitch versus Carmanos, Carolina and Detroit. And don't think that undercurrent wasn't part of the vitriol that Detroit had about the Carolina offer sheet. I think it was more about Fedorov, choosing a lesser contract in Anaheim for various reasons. But nonetheless, so 2013s, in case the Pettersson pick gets...
As enlightening as this was,
so
guys,
Mike,
I'm going to guess.
Hold on.
I'm going to guess Canucks fans are willing to put this chat on the back burner for 3 to 4 years.
No, it's front of mind today. Today it is news.
Yeah.
We may shelf it at some point over the next 4 years, but Mike, that's Josh Hackett of North York.
Hackett.
Please get that player card ready. Clive Mishinter, which is just a
he's really
awesome
good. Great
name.
too. Yep.
Awesome name. And Ty Torres, Rafi's son.
I will not abide.
Yeah.
Make a note.
Will not abide.
Make a note.
That's the
Make a note.
12s
So,
or the 13s?
That's the 12s. So
okay,
that's
can we move on to the 13s now?
Well, again, only Ontario here. That's the only sort of place that I have any sort of knowledge of these kids. And I'll go through it really, really quickly. Jackson Ross is a Marlies defenseman. He's 2013. He's probably going to be the top pick. As it looks right now, there's still a lot of hockey to play, and kids still grow. But
Yeah,
there is.
they're kids.
You will hang on. You will love this one, and I think it's nephew, Jace Richards, who plays in Kenora, who is related to Mike Richards, is a little phenom as well. So keep that one in your back pocket. There's Devin L'Esperance, who plays, who's come in to play at Windsor. Luke Strickler, who plays here on Perth. And then there's two names here that I want for you. And one you're going to laugh about. You're like, Marek, how do you know this one? This is so ridiculous. But Rafael Fata.
Rico.
Yes, his kid. Rico Fata's kid's a 2013.
He just
who
came up
looks-
in our Easter egg.
Looks good. And Stepan Solovayev is a Russian goaltender out of St. Petersburg.
Hold on a second.
Everybody should
Hey,
have
you
this.
can't-
You've
he
got
can't scout
scouts in
Saskatchewan?
minor.
But you're
know. You know, I know that he was just here for a tournament and had everybody buzzing. And one of the scouts that I talked to was like, "Oh yeah, this kid's super legit. I think he has representation."
How are his
Ontario as
hips?
well. Russians don't have hips. Russian goalies don't have hips. Have you seen them do post play? It's like they don't have hips. It's one of my favorite things to watch is Russian goaltenders around the posts. It's the most incredible. They're so good, and I swear that they don't have hips. The way that they move, like whether it's Shesterkin or like Vasilevsky, all of them. It's Mars, the way that these Russian goaltenders move around posts.
You know how kids are having preemptive Tommy John now, the baseball prospects? I wonder if we're going to have like 14-year-olds. He's going in for hip surgery now. He's going to get it done early.
Yeah, exactly. He's
gonna
going to
get
get
it
this
done
one
early.
down at 14, this one down at 16.
Yeah.
How big of a
There
hockey
you go.
nerd is Jeff Marek? The phrase, one of my favorite things to watch is Russian goalies by the post, was just uttered.
They look
Again,
so different. Dude, hang on.
Sicko.
No, hang on. Dude,
Why
you
would
have-
Brad
you know
Richards-
Woodley. Like ask Woodley.
Yes.
He'll tell you too. Like
Yeah.
for whatever it is, like Russian goalies, like they're different around the posts, and they're all great skaters.
Brad Richards is from PEI, is he not? How
Mike.
does-
Mike.
Oh, it's Mike Richards.
Mike Richards, yeah, Mike
Oh.
Richards, Kenora. That's
But-
why when I said Richards and
but-
Kenora, I thought you guys would put it together right away.
This Jace kid you speak of looks like he plays in Saskatchewan.
Maybe get sent away.
Jace Richards is Kenora. I think it's Mike's nephew.
Sask 1 U13. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, we have
Hang
plenty
on.
of time to figure this out. That's all right. I'm on his
Yeah,
elite prospect.
that's my point.
Oh, he only had 3 points in 6 games at the King of the Spring U13 tournament. God, what's the matter? He had a teammate with 12. I mean, he wasn't even top line. Oh boy.
We were
Let's pick it
waiting
up
for
again.
the
Thistles.
Canucks to
I
make.
think he's playing Thistles.
We were waiting for the Canucks to.
I'll look that one up afterwards.
We were waiting for the Canucks to make a deal that
Yeah.
underlined triply that they understood the assignment. Hoglander one was easy. Anybody could have made that deal,
Yeah.
like for any reason. But the deal that we're talking about, trading Marcus Pettersson, that one really did show that they understand the assignment, right?
It does. I thought it was a great move. I was really happy for the Vancouver Canucks when I saw that one. Great recapture for the first round pick as well. And I don't even mind where it is. I kind of like where it is, to be honest with you. I really do. I thought this was a very much because don't forget, like the first thing that we thought is they were getting a defenseman on the way back too.
Yeah.
Right? Like we were like the initial reports were, hold on a second, this is a D for D trade, and I'm like, I don't know that one really makes a whole bunch.
We
of
thought
sense.
Will Borgen, and we were all like, "Oh, that doesn't really."
That's right, it's Will
help.
Borgen. Yeah. No, I liked it. I thought it was a nice bit of business. Like so far, everything has sort of fit what Vancouver, whether it's the Sedins, whether it's the owner. Although we'll see what happens with as far as opening the purse strings to give his general manager whatever he wants. But this is what we've been hearing about for the past little while out of Vancouver. And again, day one, and we'll see what they end up doing with DeBrusk. We'll see if they end up doing anything with Elias Pettersson, whether it's Brock Besser, the Philip Hronek thing. One continues to be intriguing, I think, for a lot of people here too. But as far as, how did Vancouver do on the first day? It's all moves that made sense. I think the last time the three of us spoke, we talked about, we know what happened in the room recently. And there seems to be, and whether it's at the draft with Caleb Malhotra, or whether it's Brendan Gallagher, or whether it's Luke Schenn, or whether it's Jamie Oleksiak, there is a real premium being placed here on having really good people in the room. Having really likable people and having good people in that room and around that organization. It's too coincidental not to say that it's deliberate, because they're going after, right now, a lot of these are all players too. I don't want to disqualify that they're good hockey players, but a lot of these too have a sidebar that they're culture moves. They're good culture moves.
Huge ones. Yeah. From Oleksiak to Gallagher, they are guys that are run down, and Luke Schenn, of course. These are three all guys. We
good guys,
good guys. And do you think it plays out on the ice at all? How much of an on ice improvement might that actually trigger?
I think it's always easier to play better when you're comfortable, right? I know that there's the idea that you don't have to like someone to do with them, and I understand that. And there have been some situations where there have been teammates that have, openly amongst one another, hated each other, and they still won Stanley Cups. You think of Bob Gainey and Serge Savard. No love lost there. They just went on and won a bunch of Stanley Cups. But, by and large, I don't know how many games Vancouver is going to win, but I know it's not going to be miserable when they lose. I do think that it is easier to stand up for teammates that you like, because it doesn't feel like you're putting on a performance. When someone, runs whomever, if Oleksiak doesn't take your pick and he goes at him, part of it is well, I'm expected to do this. This is part of an act that I have to do as my job here as a policeman on the blue line. I do think it's easier. I don't know that, again, I don't want to put forward this idea that somehow I think Vancouver is going to have a better season than we all suspect have. But I think we're going into an area right now with Vancouver where it's going to be, are the kids getting better, and is the room okay? Because, again, this is still the fumes of the room from a couple of years ago. And they're trying to clean that. As Brian Burke would say, shovel out the barn. Shovel out the barn. Before you show the horse, shovel out the barn. And I think that's what RJ's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Can I
He wants to get back to the 2013.
2014's now?
No, that's next week.
I'm sending a note about Jace Richards, by the way.
Blake sits here and marvels at these NBA trades where 2033 first round picks
2 days ago, 2033 pick was drafted.
And pick swaps and things
was
like
there?
that.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I am actually wondering if this deal from the Canucks yesterday is a little bit watershedy, that it becomes a little bit let's take a really long-term view like the NBA guys are taking.
Mm-hmm.
Could you ever see a day where the NHL expands how far in the future you're allowed to trade a first-round pick, or adopts those NBA rules where you can't trade first picks in consecutive years? They have to be pick swaps or anything like that. Could you see any of that coming to hockey one day?
I've never heard the conversation around it. So I don't want to give a frivolous answer and say yes or no. All I can say is I've never heard any conversation. I've never heard anyone.
But it happens in the OHL. It happens in the CHL all the time, right? Like you told us the Stan Butler story.
This happens all the time.
Right.
Yes, this happens all the time.
Yeah. You don't know how Gary and the league office or anybody feels about trading picks way down the road, because right now it's 4 years you can trade a pick 4 years.
It's not in the CBA according to ChatGPT here.
Okay.
It's not. It's just traditionally it's about 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never heard it as part of a conversation. I've always just assumed that that's open ended. You want to trade a pick in 2050? Have at it.
Okay. All right,
Go
I
for it.
didn't
When
know.
everyone's retired, go for it.
I thought you had your complement of picks for 4 years henceforth, and that was that. You could only trade from within those. But if you're telling me it's not in the CBA
never
or
had
the,
that.
or the law, okay,
Never
all
had.
right, marvelous.
Never had that conversation.
Okay,
Never had
marvelous.
that convo.
Okay, Easter egg is he's got to go. He's got a soccer show.
By the way, really quickly, Jace Richards is going to the Marlies of the GTHL next season and does play in.
Oh man, like
according to, I know.
I'm going to need to see his registration at school to make sure he's properly zoned there. It sounds like the Marlies are building a super team, importing kids from Kenora and Saskatchewan.
Mike's going to be looking at the stats. Going, why are we getting all these views from Kenora? Why have we been getting all these views from like
Kenora
Newmarket
spike.
with all these YSE kids?
Mike's going to have a buddy here in the Lower Mainland and go, they were talking about your kid on Vancouver podcast.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, Jeff Marek sort of led the discussion, but he said he played in Kenora.
No. I just answered. Yeah. That's all I did. You led the
it's
discussion.
our fault. It's
Blake,
our fault. Yeah,
Blake was disgusted. Maddie, you led the discussion. Blake was.
Hey, man.
I'm often disgusted.
We are going to go where the news takes us. And if that's
Amen,
2012, and if that's 2013, and if that's the minor hockey rinks of Kenora, Ontario, that's where we shall go.
St. Petersburg. Stepan Soloveitch.
Exactly. What does a minor hockey rink in St. Petersburg look like? Do they have slush puppies at the canteen? All right.
Yeah, they have swamp water. All the pops mixed together.
That's right. Bet you can get a good vodka there. Easter egg. Who holds the modern record for youngest NHL goal scorer? I say modern because the 7 youngest people to score a goal in the National Hockey League all did so in the 40s. There was a 16-year-old who scored in the 40s. Ted Teeter Kennedy scored at 17 years old in the 40s. But this gentleman is number 8 all-time of youngest goal scorers in NHL history. He is a modern player. He is a Stanley Cup champion. The youngest modern goal scorer in NHL history.
Is it Crosby?
It is not Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby is 6th youngest amongst active players.
It's not
Is
Bennett.
it?
No, not Sam Bennett. Ooh. You got to think of 18-year-olds who have played in the NHL, everybody.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't have actually. No, it wouldn't have been anyone from that junior team because they all missed a year because of the lockout. Is it Mark Scheifele?
No, it is not
Cup
Mark.
champion. Never mind.
Still playing?
Okay, let me give you more hints.
Still playing?
Still active. Yeah. Still playing. Active. Mm-hmm. Stanley Cup champion. Center iceman. Top 5 pick. Kind of a surprising pick when they took him. In fact, multiple Stanley Cup champion.
18-year-old.
No, Kopitar wasn't a top 5 pick.
No. I'm out.
Okay, Jeff. 3, 2.
No.
Just give me a name. Give me an 18-year-old.
Give me an 18-year-old.
As we're talking about kids in the draft. Just name me an 18-year-old. Is it Jonathan Taves?
No. The answer is Alexander Barkov. He scored at 18 years and 31 days old on October 3rd, 2013 at Dallas.
So he was in New Jersey draft, so he scored a goal before Nathan McKinnon then.
Nathan McKinnon is 5th on this list. And listen to how bunched they are. Barkov, 18 years, 31 days. Jordan Stahl scored at 18 years, 32 days. Niederreiter scored at 18 years, 35 days.
Niederreiter.
Matthew Schaefer scored at 18 years, 36 days. And Nathan McKinnon scored at 18 years, 41 days. They are within 10 days of each other, the 5 youngest goal scorers in modern NHL.
Nino Niederreiter can get on that list. Caleb Malhotra should play next year, for heaven's sakes. Come on.
Thank you.
No, you mentioned Barkov. What is with the prison team Florida's putting together? I joked on Twitter, like, Florida's going to have like a 3-referee system every time they play. Holy smokes.
I just love they're playing Tampa Bay in preseason. You think that might get a little ugly?
Listen, Jeffrey Vial was the happiest guy in town because he just signed a 5-year ticket with Tampa to be the muscle there. And
he got 5 years.
Anyways, and Ross Johnson got 3.
We'll talk about prices and free agency more next week as we explore 2014s as well with Jeff Marek.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, boys.
So here's some price from the historic Wall Center, the Nation Network studio built by Arbor Lee. The real win happens after the final buzzer. Stay downtown, stay comfortable, stay close to everything here at Sheraton Vancouver Wall Center. Your game day home base starts at wallcenter.com. Well, World Cup play returns to BC Place tonight with Switzerland and Algeria in a round of 32 knockout match. The winner will play the Colombia-Ghana winner also here at BC Place on Tuesday. That's the round of 16 match. And the Algerian fans were out and about on Granville last night getting primed. Great work here from Sarbraj Kalon of Omni Television. He's been capturing these scenes of our city for the last few weeks. This is Algeria, Blake.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a huge Algerian diaspora here in Vancouver, but take a look and listen to this.
I think I don't know.
I'm telling you, how do you move on?
I don't know.
How are we going to move on from the vibes of all this?
I don't know.
It will be a very sad day next Wednesday when we wake up to a world with no more World Cup games in Vancouver. I know some of the fan fests are still going through the end of the tournament, but like I was talking to my buddy on the golf course the other day, and we both acknowledged, because we play a lot of golf, our golf has taken a real hit the last, there have been days where otherwise I would have scheduled 18.
Yeah.
But I look at the World Cup schedule and I go, I can't miss that match. I can't miss that match. I want to watch that one.
I've barely played, honestly. It's been
what am I going to do in this tournament? Where am I going to spend my time?
And so be careful what you wish for when you're like, oh, I don't want them to expand. Really? You don't want this to be
I was so wrong about this. I thought this was a horrible idea. I thought it would dilute it. I thought you'd see blowouts. I thought you'd see teams playing for 0-0 ties because that's the way to get through. I was mayor of Wrongville wrong.
I think 64 would be
too much.
But.
Canada training in Houston. What's the word?
Yeah, nothing much out of today's training. Jesse Marsch yesterday afterwards, again, pushing back on tactical things a little bit and saying we're going to be us. And we've done, we're not so staunch that we don't change. He's like, we do change our formation mid-game. We go 5 at the back sometimes. So he's like, there are situational changes that we make like any team. But he said ultimately it's all within the confines of our identity. So he's pushing back, I think, on some of the more drastic changes that have been suggested. But he also pointed out, and I think he's right here, Morocco is a near perfect team. Doesn't mean that they're the best team in the world, but they are very balanced. That's maybe a better way of saying it. Like there's not an Achilles heel to Morocco. Others have pointed, and we heard it from Colin Miller, that a couple of teams, including Scotland, have shown some weaknesses, have got them off their game a little bit, and you have to assume that that the tape has been watched there from Jesse Marsch, and he's seen those moments, and he'll try to replicate those moments as best that he can. But Haiti and Scotland, in moments, have got Morocco off their game. Haiti scored 2 goals against Morocco. And they got early goals. Haiti had a 2-1 lead on Morocco. Almost took it to the break before a stoppage time goal in the first half got Morocco level. So there's good tape to watch here.
Yeah. And the other thing, you look at the roster of Moroccan players. Boys, there are a lot of big clubs there. I mean, Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester United.
Again, 6th-ranked team in the world. You'd expect
Roma, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. It's
legit.
Yep. I hope we see Canada's best game. I hope if the ask is too large here, that at least we go down playing our best game and feeling good about the effort and the performance we put out there on Saturday. Because I do agree with Jesse Marsch. And I know some have criticized him for saying it, but folks, this is house money. Like we're a side ranked somewhere in the 30s in the world. To get to the round of 16 is already a victory. To see the scenes play out across this country during Canada match days is already a victory. The soccer project, as we talked about with Colin Miller, has gotten a gigantic push forward. I cannot help but think there are kids across this country watching these matches deciding, I want to be a soccer player when I grow up. So let's show all the spirit. Let's show all the performance that we can muster on Saturday. Let the chips fall. And if it's not enough, cap tip, stick tap, as they might say in hockey, to Jesse Marsch and his Chargers.
I've been saying it all week, though, Matt. That's the good news. Canada has played merely okay. Like,
no,
honestly,
that's fair.
Like
that's what I'm saying. Let's see our best once.
We have not seen them at their very best. That's the good news. There's room for that still. Like, if they had topped out already and just thought, oh, okay, well, they've had their peak. They haven't. They haven't hit their peak. Let's see it happen.
Yep. Spain-Austria starts today's match day from SoFi in Los Angeles. And a huge game in Toronto. Portugal v. Croatia. We talked about it earlier in the week. Huge Croatian and Portuguese populations in Toronto. Blake's high school was entirely Portuguese or Croatian.
Yes. Few Italians.
The city has gone gaga for Cristiano Ronaldo, the great Portuguese star, swarming the Portuguese hotel awaiting the team bus arrival. And look, I realize within
Delta.
that crowd that they're staying at the Delta. Yeah, I've stayed at the Delta.
Seen that
it's
view.
a lovely spot.
Yeah.
I realize within that crowd you're seeing on visual platforms, there are some kids there that just want to get a glimpse of their hero. Fair enough. But otherwise, I got to say, I'm embarrassed for Toronto. Blake, we've talked about it before. Toronto so wants to be New York. They so want to be counted amongst the world capitals like London and Paris and Rome. But here's the thing. Those cities are secure in their skin, and they don't act like clowns in the face of celebrity. They have an easier, more facile relationship with celebrity because that's what they're accustomed to. It's part of the civic DNA. Celebrities live there and they work there and they go out there, and those cities don't lose their shit like it's Beatlemania, for heaven's sakes.
You don't think that there's a crowd outside of Cristiano Ronaldo's hotel room in Vancouver?
You look at that scene yesterday. Do you remember the Kawhi Leonard scene when he was going to sign or not re-sign with the Raptors? Him and Uncle Dennis going to that hotel and the crowd that formed outside, and I mean, it is just so small time. It is so small time. Even Vancouver has a more comfortable relationship with celebrity. These few blocks around us, you know how many celebrities stay here at the Wall Center, at the Sutton Place, where they're filming Riverdale, whatever they're filming here, and those folks walk around the streets of Vancouver and nobody swarms them. Nobody's waiting at the hotel. It's creepy.
I mean, for the actors, I would agree. I think if Cristiano Ronaldo was playing in Vancouver today, and it was on the table for a moment there, I think there is a crowd. I don't know if it's that big, but there is a crowd outside of his hotel room. There is.
Blake, you'll remember this. Years ago, we were on a Canucks trip to New York City. And where are we going to have dinner? It's New York City. I mean, your cup runneth over. So I have a cousin who lives and works in New York, and I call him up, and he was going to join us. I say, hey, you pick the restaurant because we're flying blind here. He goes, okay, there's this Italian place in, I want to say it was the East Village.
think it was Hell's Kitchen, but yeah, okay.
I think it was east of there. And so we go to the restaurant, and there's a sizable group of us, and my cousin meets us there. And I sit down, and one of our friends across the table goes, "Hi, Matt." He's like gesticulating to me. What's going on? And he takes a photo of me. He goes, "Look over your left shoulder." And over my left shoulder was actress Julianne Moore having dinner with her family. Remember this? Mm-hmm. No makeup, wasn't dressed up. Like, you might not have recognized that this was a world-famous actress. And then the discussion comes up, oh, is someone going to go over and say hi to her? My cousin was mortified. He's like, no, you don't do that in New York City. We see celebrities all the time. I mean, maybe if Julianne Moore walks into a diner in Topeka, Kansas for lunch, a local saddles up and goes, oh, Miss Moore, I loved you in the Hunger Games. What brings you to Middle Kansas? But not in New York City. Not if you're a world capital or aspire to be one. You play it cool, Toronto.
Oh, this is a weird rant.
No, you're weird.
No, it's a weird rant. It's the World Cup. People are excited. They want to catch a glimpse of their idol. Come on. Let it happen.
Walking off a team bus and into a hotel. Look at the way he walked off the team bus and into
Matt,
the lobby.
every 82 game, 41 games a year, somebody plays the Vancouver Canucks, and 41 times there's a crowd outside to watch them leave the bus for 4.1 seconds into the arena.
These are the autograph hounds.
And others.
Belgium advances with a penalty kick from Romelu Lukaku at the death of extra time, crushing Senegalese hearts yesterday. They'll play the United States in Seattle on Monday. That's because the USA defeated Bosnia despite the fact that there was a red card to their star striker, Flo Balogun, and you tell me you think that red card will be rescinded and that Balogun will be able to play on Monday?
I'm not I wouldn't bet on it, but I also am not going to be surprised at all if it happens. There's been enough pushback on it. There's been empirical evidence up the yin-yang in the tournament of similar, actually more vicious, I would say, infractions. And I was going to say, I didn't say tackle because he's not trying to tackle the player. The ball is nowhere near either of the feet that are involved in this foul. He's kind of done a hop and he's just trying to land and he accidentally comes down on the player. The definition of a red card, serious foul play. Mm-hmm. It's not serious foul play. He's not even tackling the ball. The ball is about 7 feet away because it's come off of the Bosnian player.
What was more disappointing was Bosnia's down 1-0 at the time. And so you're sitting there watching it going, oh, we got another fantastic finish coming up here.
Yeah, it looked like it was
Bosnia's going to get a chance to play against 10 men. Of course, Bosnia scored against Italy at 10 men and when they qualified for the World Cup. And yet they mustered nothing. They mustered
and then
sweet.
Gave up a free kick goal, some poor goaltending.
That was that.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah. Huge baseball weekend ahead, both here in Vancouver and down the I-5. But we start with the Vancouver Canadians, who lost last night before a sellout crowd and Canada Day fireworks at the Nat. Back at it tonight. But the big draw is tomorrow's nooner, where, Blake, I am fending off requests from all my friends. Have you given away your C's tickets for Friday yet? Yeah. Within seconds of the big announcement yesterday, our C's tickets were gone. Well done, David Quadrelli, being the first to text the
Quad's
ticket
a baseball
manager.
legend.
Absolutely.
Near professional.
I had a friend text me last night and say, I've got my seats. Are you going? I said, no, my seats are given away. He goes, I've got friends who want to go. The get-in price was $300 on the secondary market. $300! It's high A baseball.
I've never heard of that.
And the reason? A chance to see the future Hall of Famer. Here is Mad Max Scherzer and his family. We told you last year they became Canada-philes during his first season with the Blue Jays. His wife, his 4 children, how much they loved that city, our country, the support from coast to coast for the Blue Jays. They took a Canada Day photo yesterday, all decked out in their red. And tomorrow, Max Scherzer will be a Canadian, a Vancouver Canadian, at the Nat, a rehab start before joining the Jays in Seattle on the weekend. There were a few tickets left yesterday, I can't imagine. But get your tickets for tonight, for the weekend as well. Remember, a 5 p.m. special 5 p.m. first pitch on Saturday. White Spot Family Fun Sunday. There's a giveaway there. Build a Bob block set. 604-872-5232 or Canadians Baseball.
I'm glad the makeover's all complete. Like, Scherzer's going to walk in there and go, holy cat. I mean,
yeah.
We've always thought it was charming, but now it's charming and impressive.
He's going to get a standing ovation when he takes the mound, when he finishes. Blue Jays, of course, in Seattle starting tomorrow, and they're lined up pretty good starter-wise. If you're going down to Seattle for the series, going to get a chance to see Dylan Cease on Friday, Shane Bieber, former Cy Young winner, on Saturday, Trey Savage on Sunday. Mariners are undeclared starters for all three of these games. Of course, they're doing this piggyback routine as well. And I wanted to shout out the Canada Day game yesterday from Rogers Center. Outstanding stuff from the Blue Jays here. First of all, love seeing Paul Beeston throwing out the first pitch, first employee of the club, Mr. Canada Baseball. But did you hear what they did with the Jays Care Foundation? They gave 6 of their Canadian alums a choice on where to donate $50,000. Victoria's Michael Saunders picked the Lambrick Park Baseball and Softball Academy to support scholarship programs. North Vancouver's Scott Richmond was also in attendance. It was great seeing Michael and Scott. Selected Baseball BC, targeted towards the girls' programs and high-performance efforts. So good job, Blue Jays, investing in Canadian baseball. Good job, Michael Saunders and Scott Richmond, 2 Jays alums from our beautiful province. We mentioned this yesterday. It's official now. Shortstop JoJo Parker and right-handed pitcher Nolan Perry will be the Jays representatives at the Futures game at the MLB All-Star Game. Perry just got called up to Double-A. We are waiting on JoJo Parker at the Nat. Their first-round pick last year from a Mississippi high school. His bat's gotten hot of late. We're hoping to see him here in Vancouver before the season is out. Football, where the BC Lions, some encouraging news from practice yesterday. Left guard Kirby Yates returned to full practice. He missed last week's game against Calgary. Pass protection wasn't great last week. Still no TJ Lee in that defensive secondary. Sadly, Maxime Rouillet also did not practice, linebacker, special teamer. And you see the limited practice availability there for Canadian DB Patrice Rene, receiver Kieran Poisson, and, of course, linebacker Vernon.
It's ripening a little bit, though.
Ben Hladek of Vernon, yes. Lions and Elks Saturday from Kelowna's expanded Apple Bowl. Last check, there were some tickets, a few standing rooms left. BC looking for its first win of the season. Edmonton is unbeaten at 3 and really turning things around there in the Alberta capital.
But that's a good way to really smelling salt an 0-3 team is. Are you going to get embarrassed and give a 4-0 start to Edmonton?
Yeah.
And you go 0-4? Like, is that what you want? This is your last chance to give the fans in Kelowna a win?
Yeah.
Like this is as close to a the coach should not have to say much to the squad.
No. Edmonton, the lone unbeaten left in the CFL after 4 weeks. BC and Ottawa, the 2 winless teams in the loop. Canadian basketball, Canada basketball, revealed its training camp roster for the FIBA World Cup qualifiers in July. And pretty good NBA participation here. The MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, will participate, as will his cousin, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, right? Dylan Brooks of Phoenix. Some other NBAers there, including the Nemhard brothers, Andrew and Ryan. Canada begins their schedule tomorrow versus Puerto Rico in Hamilton. They'll play Jamaica early next week. And congratulations to Mission, British Columbia's Teresa Kleindienst formerly of Simon Fraser University, who is amongst the class of the 2026 inductees to the Canada Basketball Hall of Fame. She won an NAIA Natty and tournament MVP in the year 2000 at SFU, represented Canada for 13 years, including at a couple of Olympic Games. And then there's the tennis, lest we forget. Felix Auger-Aliassime, he wins yesterday in round 2 at Wimbledon, moves on, awaiting an opponent there.
Hasn't dropped a set yet.
No, he's looked very, very good. In fact, he hasn't gotten to the third round in Wimbledon for a number of years here. This has been a bugaboo for him. So good to see him back. Sadly, Gabriel Diallo, after playing a 5-setter and winning, loses a 5-setter.
10 sets. I mean,
he's out. And so that leaves Felix as the last Canadian.
Felix has played 6 sets. Gabriel Diallo played 10 sets.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
Is Marcus Pettersson for a 2030 first-round pick, top 10 protected, a good deal for the Canucks, people said?
They said yes.
Percentage?
65.
92.
Oh boy, yeah, okay.
Overwhelming.
I thought the
people don't care that it was in the past.
Yeah, I thought the care of the 2030 was gonna bring it down a little bit.
The other poll we had yesterday: seeing the paydays today, are you expecting hauls and returns for traded veterans? Yes or no?
Yes.
Percentage?
90.
59%. Boy, you really screwed that up. Huh?
Yeah.
Gord, I'm not greedy on Marcus Pettersson. Just clear him out. If they can get a pick or a prospect, it's fine. Equally important, RJ showing he can get shit done. Yes. Pucker Glenn, I learned never to expect anything, only pleasant surprises. Okay, defense mechanism. We hear it. And Terry,
I get that.
Who's voting no? Are you blind? Errors and omissions from yesterday's program and beyond. We're like, why are the Mariners and Angels taking a off day in the middle of their series? Does it have something to do with World Cup? Yeah, it did. Belgium, Senegal was at Lumen Field yesterday.
And why bother cluttering the city, competing for eyes, all that.
And then we mentioned Mexico, one of 3 teams all time to win their first 4 matches while not allowing a goal. The other sides were Brazil in 86 and Italy in 90.
Good company.
Really good company.
I believe
really good company.
The champions of each of those years? No, Italy won.
Now you're going to have to.
In 86, yeah. Now we're creating it. It's another branch. Another branch.
Eno tree will
exactly
continue tomorrow. And thanks for joining us. Tomorrow you'll join this guy and Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm off to watch that baseball team. And thank you for connecting with the program. Please do subscribe to all our assorted channels, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast. Follow on social, X, Insta, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky Live, many of those platforms, noon Pacific time, weekdays. And yes, we will be here next week.
Hand of God in 86, right? So
Maradona.
Argentina. Yeah.
Argentina. It wasn't me. It was the hand of God. And, of course, please do support the community sponsors you hear us talking about. Keep it local.